I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see you today. All right, without further ado, let's take a look at our first crypto on the board for today. I have two CPRPs. One of them is going to be 049 on HTX, and the other is going to be on KuCoin for about the same price. Yeah, it looks like that's it. And we have on a forecast, Echo forecast. Where's my trick tree? Can turn this one on at the end. Well, a lot of data. I like this one. This one goes back to May of 2021. That's going to be great. And March of 2022. So we're going to use the KuCoin version. Add that to our watch list by clicking this button, and then coming over here and clicking on the full screen. Ooh. Messy candles. Definitely want to look at the higher time frames. Is this the one we're looking at? Lisa says, update on some of our maps. XOR started moving a little bit, and Cell moved also up in the last few days. Yes. WRX, I believe, also came down to a lower position on the map. I get a few notifications when my maps hit my lines. Nothing really was catching my interest too much. Just hitting resistances. Okay, I'm going to first draw two big lines that I see. Number one is going to be this one right here, wick core, and there's a health that has been revealed. The other thing we can see is we can draw the bottom flow, and our true angle is going to be something like this. Because of this type of downward oscillation, we're going to continue it out until we get thundercut, which is going to be somewhere down here. And we're going to draw a thundercut a little bit more where they intersect, which is going to be somewhere down here. And then in addition to that, we're going to take the center line, which is going to be our tiger line, and we're going to duplicate it and move it to the different cores and resistance to check to see if tiger is at work. We can use a tiger to see any unused resistance lines, and then you're going to see where we can calculate some tops and bottoms. With tiger angle, we can usually get a few good points out of resistance and support, and they should tell the same story. Depending on the angle and the oscillation, if it's really severe, most of those lines will already be done in a short time because the angle is more at a sharper way instead of just this. But when it's flat, we can get more tops and bottoms. So I'll show you this. We're going to do it real quick and we'll move on. This is a weekly chart. And I'll just leave on some of these dots so you guys remember where I drew mine. Okay, so again, wick. No verification here, just really close to it. There's probably another line there. I'm going to try to collect as many of these lines as possible. Otherwise, it's just we're just going to parabolic the whole thing. Let's see, on the standard candles, would it be any different? No. Yeah, a little hidden banner. We don't need to draw that hidden banner because it's going to show up when we do our thundercut anyway, in this case. Candles. Alright, so this one, because of the parabolic nature of this line, we're going to stretch this out just a little bit further, collecting all of those, and we're going to bring this top and duplicate it down. It's going to put a thundercut that's at a much lower area, somewhere down here in that range. We'll keep an eye on that number if we need to in the future. 049. I like to keep thundercuts. I don't often talk about thundercuts as much, but over time they play out as definitely lines worth watching. Here's 13 cents, 13.78. I'm sorry, 0137. 049. Oh no. 0158 to 0137. Okay, great. By the way, current price is 049. So if there was a flash crash event, we might be looking for an emergency support thundercut somewhere back here in this area. Okay. All right. As far as straights go, I'm not really going to draw one that's really straight, because I'm missing quite a bit and I don't see any straight line. So I believe the whole thing is just bowed and parabolic, which means this is just a great health that is appearing in these cryptos. And I believe that's what we're really working with. Because we have two separate angles, we're going to use the mixed tiger instead of just the normal standard tiger that's straight. It's going to be a mixture between a curve and a straight. To perform that analysis, we're just going to draw straight lines and use the scaffolding effect, where we just identify the middle of each, and then we find that middle calculation just naturally. I'll just use a standard brush. I'll give a different color so you guys can see what I'm doing. Halfway is here. Halfway is here. Halfway is here. Halfway is about right there. It's basically something like this. Then we're gonna take a different parabolic, go back to the same origin, align it approximately where you did the scaffolding, and collect the middle area. Now this middle area, we're going to change the color, and I'll make it thick for this video real quick, and then delete the scaffolding. And by scaffolding, the little tools we're using to build it, this one. Okay, the next step we're going to do is we're going to test out our mid-phantom, make sure it's working. I'm going to move it to all the tops and bottoms at core first, and then we'll identify wicks. Remember to move it straight up and down when you do. I'm going to duplicate it out. Okay, so here's our core. This one hit right here, which is our standard one, and wick has not yet hit. It's going to be somewhere up here as our resistance. If we were to take one here, and now I'm focusing on this energy center right about right here, I'm going to move this down to core, and I can see that I got a hit approximately here. So that one's exhausted, and here, by the way. So if I move this up to wick, my hit is now. So my resistance should be approximately when we hit this line, and we've hit that now. So this is at work. So this is more of a tiger we can trust. And the next area is going to be this third rise up here. And if we move it here, our support is along that path here. If it's getting confusing because I have too many lines, let me make one white. You can see it now, right? Okay, so this is going to give us the support along this path. That's good. So this is how we use the mixed tiger to perform a verification. Once I have enough that are verified, then I basically did what I need to do. And the last one is just a smaller one here. At wick, it's the same, and then at core, it's down just a little bit lower, right there at core, which gives us also some verification. So because I see lots of verification, I'm going to put more weight on this one that's unused. So this is the one that's not exhausted. So I'll put more, I'm going to put more weight on the resistance being here in this area. And if you want to, what you can do is give yourself a highlighted line, then fade that line away. So you know, and you're privately, hey, I need to pay attention to this angle. And the other thing you can do is get a thin line, just a really thin line, and go to today's date and just mark approximately where that line is. I'm basically making a little line. Okay, you see what I'm doing? Tugging the line along that highlighted path. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a white dotted line and put an alert on there. Okay, so I'm going to put this alert, hitting the alarm clock button, and I'm going to say CRPT has hit resistance. Consider taking profit. Okay. You may want to consider taking profit once we hit that area. Now, because the resistance up here and we're in health, I may consider actually taking this crypto up to the resistance. The money that's on the table, going to our measuring tool, from today's current price, which is a good price, 0.049. It's at the bottom of this healthy area. We're looking at approximately 95% up into that line, maybe a little more. If I go straight up and it's today, it's 133%. But if it's somewhere like in August, before the end of August, then we're looking around 70%. If it's in September, you're looking at more like 39%. But the line is up here, and there's a potential. So I'm just going to go about halfway there. In August 12th, it's approximately 83%. Alert created. And that's how you can perform the analysis for Mixed Tiger. Alert created along resistance. And when you create these alerts, you don't really have to worry about the price too much. You just draw it along that resistance. Because remember, what's going to happen is the price is going to change daily. So if your alert line is at an angle going down, it doesn't matter what price is. You're not waiting for a specific price to be triggered. You're expecting the angle to be triggered. And I get alerts all the time from our lines that we draw. Okay, so you guys can do the same. That'll help you out. Okay, this crypto is in health at the moment. It was oscillating in weakness in this area, but now we're in the healthy area. So of this analysis, we performed our Mixed Tiger, and I'm going to write this on here. Mixed Tiger with verification, or I'll put at the top or the bottom. So I know that I performed this analysis. I'm going to put that in parentheses. Okay. All right. So there it is. Apart from this is going to be one of the biggest verifications. Down here is your Thundercut. Do I have any other questions regarding the full analysis on this one? I think anything smaller is going to be a little bit messy. Yeah, I think you're going to get about to 95 cents. Oh, sorry, 0.95 cents. Any other questions? CRPT. You could do targeting system for this one. Let's do a quick check. First, I'll try to do the whole move from here to here. Big target in our same area. That's going to be about right here. This target has already been hit. I only went to the bottom, so if you hit again in this area, you're going to hit to the conservative side up here, to the unconservative side. You already hit the conservative side, which is on the bottom. We can hit up here to the higher side. Visual order, send back. Okay, another target would be probably very high. I want to make sure I'm breaking out of this parabolic up there. That's our tiger before trying to challenge that area. Oh, and this isn't the right color, by the way. $283. A very small target. 0.5853. Oh no, yeah, 0.5853. Okay, so this is going to be our target up there. And I'll just make sure I type this. Target 1 was that 12130760. All right. So there it is. They're both still in this area. That's a very good thing. And we'll stop there. When you guys can put on your maps, put on your alerts. I think this one will do well. Longer term, it's in a good position. The daily chart's a little bit messy. A lot messy. Very messy. I'm going to check momentum. The RSI. Not a strong pullback. Not like I want. As far as any kind of immediate action goes, as far as a shorter term trade, I don't know if this is going to be the one for you. You may want to watch the wicks here. Okay. Watch that area. That's just going to be health. This is a daily chart. You want to be on this side of the trade, or still underneath this area. You got some big shakeouts here. There was a lot of selling here. And then we came back to no demand at the bottom. No, still this area. And then we saw a large ultra high volume up bar. And then the ultra high volume at the top. Still a lot of volume in this area. But the down move was not as severe as any of these moves. And we were right back in that area on ultra high volume. So this tells me that on this pump here, let me show you. This tells me on this pump in this area, when they did this move up here, and they challenged it again here, and they challenged this again here, in this area, there was an increase of volume, and there's still a lot of volume, ultra high volume. So they have a reason to challenge it again to the top. So I would say, because we didn't get to a situation where there's no demand in this area, then they're going to challenge it again. It's more incentive for them to have a breakout. So I would say that in the smaller time frames, you're probably going to see a breakout because of this. It increases the chances of it. The support's all wrong. It's just shakeouts back to these areas. I can see the effort is upwards. They're trying to, there's too much supply. There's too many people that are bullish. So now's not the time for them to drain it. So I would say yes, because of this, there's going to be incentive to try, challenge it to the upside. I like it. I like it. Let me add a text to that. Increases in volume at these areas with no sign of no demand show us there is an incentive to drive prices higher. It's not the time to drop this one in a big way. This is going to be dangerous for them to try, or it would be expensive for them to try to drop it at these areas. So this is going to want to challenge higher prices. Okay, so that's going to be one analysis. And then the other thing is there's a weakness that appears when we're underneath this block. And I'll give it to you as a rotated rectangle range just so I can color it really thick and you guys won't miss it. But it's going to be somewhere about here. Yeah. So I don't like rotated rectangles. When you move one side, you can't move the other. Or you move the other. Get me below there, and we'll talk about weaknesses. At the moment, I want to be above here, and then we'll be going up to our resistance. All right, any other questions for this crypto? And we'll move on to the next crypto now. Y'all? Any questions for me on my take of this crypto? Okay. Everything in this video is never financial investment or trading advice of any kind. Everything's just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. I eat red crayons for breakfast. Trading in the markets carries substantial risk. Never trade more than you can afford to lose. And especially be aware against high leverage trading. Lisa says, good news, this crypto was added to the ISO ANA registry. And the market cap is low. Oh yeah, good. All-time high was $3 for this crypto. Wow. Imagine buying at 4 cents and goes to something like $3 again. Imagine that. Yeah, look at that. $3. Holy smokes. This one's, I see $1 for here on this exchange. Maybe in a time past. But at least even $1 from 4 cents. Fantastic. We're gonna look at a crypto called DC. Hopefully, while looking and investigating this crypto, we'll find Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Doge chain? Is that what it is? Doge chain? Yes. This is Lisa. Okay. 063, 062. We'll start at CoinEX. We got back to September 2022. Get at O is going to give us to August, which is just a little bit farther. Not much difference. Look at Gate.io. And we'll look at the map. I'm going to pull up the monthly chart for this one. Interesting. All right, I believe there's a true angle based on the wick side for this one. We got wick core. Should be a hair higher. Yep. So this is going to be the monthly true key angle. If you want to give yourself a line and a label, make sure you type in a keyword like monthly and then .ka, so you know what you're dealing with. If you can't see your words, check your text color, like me. I can't see them in this case. Make them big, bold, beautiful. The bold and the beautiful. Okay, core, wick side. I'm going to take this angle, I'm going to bring it down to some of these areas and see if I have any verification. I generally don't like to use the launch area, but in this case, the second wick was close, very close to it. So it might be something worth considering. If it is, and it's the phantom, what you can do is duplicate that area to find your mid phantom, which is halfway, and see if you get a response as well. Sometimes you will, and then you'll know more so what you're dealing with. If this is the case, if that was the mid phantom, it needs to be a little higher. Yep, look at this. Halfway through, we got a bounce on mid phantom. If this is the case, we want to be looking at the range by which we cut to this area. And if all price was doing is hanging down here, this could be actually a negative thing. The step up would be approximately from when we cross from one side to the other, even though it's just really big. The step up, which I usually draw in gray, could be in this area. I would be concerned a little bit if I see structures underneath this, and that's what we see. So I'm not going to be so bearish. I'm not going to be so bullish Doge or this coin, whatever, Doge chain at the moment. And that's just on the monthly chart. Okay, so longer term, this is not really going to be something that I'm so excited about. I'll put some of my notes here. Step up. Structures below. Step up. Point out some verifications. Core. Wick. So we got lots of verification, mid phantom. Keep making things a little bit simpler for you guys, for everybody. Okay, let's go to our weekly chart. Ultra high volume on the up bar, ultra high volume again in this area, but then we step into weakness. So this is going to be, in this case, signs of selling and distribution that's happening. So at the end of this up bar, from October 2023 to December of this month, during this up move, the selling has to happen on the up moves. At the very top of the market, we have this ultra high volume. That's not them buying in this case. The next bar is down. That's your confirmation. And then we enter into weakness. When we came back into this area at the core, and we hit it on wick side, that's a sign of weakness right there. If we cannot even pass the core areas and we're just hitting it on the weak side, then your confirmation, your nail in the coffin, is going to be more weakness, which is the here. So this is the next area of weakness that appears underneath these areas. So I would say you're in a downtrend. Weakness has appeared. signs of selling and distribution phase happen. We need to buy this crypto safely and securely, or more with more confidence. We really want to see accumulation. We want to see the exact opposite. We want to see something that would look like this, you know, if we're in an uptrend and then we come back down, massive buying coming in, still some volume, not exactly no demand, but still a lot, enough to break us into health. I would like that. This is the exact opposite. So I would say overall this is sick. You don't want to hang on to this very long. And if you do, you're a little bit playing with fire. You're playing with a crypto that's negative. Okay. Actually, let me show you that view. Yeah. Weakness core. I don't want to show us. I want to square it so you guys know I'm talking about the move here. We're teaching a lot of this in Sword Method 6.0. The next one is going to be the weakness territory. That's weak territory. Downtrend. I'll make sure I wrote down trend. In this case, the trend is not your friend. Okay. And then finally, that area here and here, distribution is what it is, which is just selling. I'm not really interested in this one. If I'm going to take the short, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. You don't want to short it exactly today. If you look at the flow of price on the smaller time frames, there's a smaller health that has appeared. You only want to take the health and take the trade up to approximately that area, 00075. I don't have a watch line for that to be broken, but it would be something like along that track, and then you can take the trade back down. At the moment, this one's probably going to go up over the next few days. But again, please be careful. You're playing with fire in these examples. If you were to give yourself an arrow, maybe something like check the curve tool, clicking on the settings of the curve tool, give it an arrow end, and that's what I'm drawing, something like that. I believe this is what's going to be the case for this one. But it's a smaller health at the moment. Let me see if I can actually just glue that in the picture. Health lowercase. Remember, the whole area is weakness territory on a larger time frame. This is where weakness resumes. If you're hunting the down move in a down, if you're hunting the up move in a downtrend, this is your up move right now. Once that ends, whether we reject or round here and then go through a new watch line, that's when you're going to want to take your trade. Okay, that's when you want to take your short. Otherwise, if we in it today, I don't want to sell just yet. Just sell in a few days. Current price 0006. Exit price 0007. Any other questions for this one? Please unmute in case I don't see your comment. Yeah? Nobody? All right. Praise God. Those are my evidences of that crypto and what I believe about that. All right, next one. BABYDOGE. This is different. Oh. By the way, I'm curious about the first cryptos we looked at. We have the Echo Forecast indicator. I like that indicator. I like that indicator. I like having it on. Let's turn it on. Make sure I'm going to my object tree. Just these three dots. Object tree. Click on it at the bottom where it's already on. I'm just going to see it, and where's it at? Almost completely turned off. So I'll put it on. This is the indicator I like to use sometimes. It's called FX. And then I'm going to click on the Echo Forecast. Lux Algo, I like this one. Click on it. And then we're going to, it shows an area. We click on that area, and I'm going to click on show area and deselect. I don't need it to show all the area that it's examining, but it's basically examining the area here. And then it takes analysis of what has happened in the past and what the highest probabilities are. So I like those, but I don't always like showing the area because it gets in the way of my map. And sometimes I turn off the echo forecast before because it biases my view, or it could tempt me to bias my view. I don't think it's biasing my view. And the other thing we're going to do is turn on the color, change the color to like a dotted or a dashed color. In this case, we'll do dashed, and that's good. So click OK. So at the moment, the echo forecast is just saying, hey, we're going to be phasing through or this line or hitting this line, and then maybe, actually bouncing along this line and coming up. See if I can make that a little bit thicker. No, that's all I got. Yeah. So it's just saying it's bouncing on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, it's going to examine a little bit further. And it's a little broken on the weekly chart in this case. Maybe there's not enough data for it to go through, but it's just saying, hey, there's big drop, big move up, big down. It's just ups and downs. So it's not always accurate in that sense. But on the daily chart, it's just saying that it's expecting also a bounce along this angle, which is nice. Let's go back to that crypto we were just looking at right now. What was it? DC. And on DC, it is expecting the same thing. Not exactly the same thing. It's expecting to go down as well. So expecting lower prices. Interesting. I believe we're probably going to hit the underside of here. Otherwise, just wait. I'm not in the business of taking this trade. It's dangerous to take this trade here. You can wait. By the way, I didn't draw the sword cut. If you're going to draw your sword cut, that's your sword cut area. Approximately. All right. Let's turn off our indicator. BABYDOGE. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great morning. Okay, X. An older map for a very, very older map for this crypto. Yeah, May of 2023. Look at my old map. Good morning, Bob P. Good morning. Hello, Antonio. Hello, InvestBox. Good morning. Hi, Minerva. Okay. All right, let's draw a new map, or let's continue some of these old map. All right, health appeared here. That's our top. Our resistance area should be approximately here. After this line was broken, there's a health in this area. No big weakness structures that are built underneath this area. So we're just going to adjust some of these. By the way, I'm going to adjust some of these for the monthly view. We'll borrow some of these old lines. Probably just easier just to delete everything. Yeah, why not? Racer. One of the things we're going to be teaching a lot in 6.0, you're going to see a new technique. It's a type of flat technique. We're going to be adding it to the flats family. The flats family. And that's going to be where we're going to take large cores on the flats. Sorry guys, look at my collar. Okay, now it's better, right? So what we're going to do, I know, right? I'm just kidding. What we're going to do is take flats and identify many cores, and when we see wick challenges with structure, cutting those weakness areas where we see them on smaller time frames, a good indication of where the resistance will happen. And if there's a history of it happening, we look for it to happen again. And basically this is, I don't have a name for this, but I want to say it's core challenge. Here's another example on this exact same chart. So first let me again highlight the approximate principle that's at work. It's a type of flat challenge. Here's another example. Here's your big core, and it's here. Now we talked about cores in the past as a high level cores, but this is a little bit of a more in-depth analysis. We're specifically looking for wick challenges at those cores. So those cores to be challenged, here is an example of health. Here's an example of health. Now this is a monthly chart, so these are a little bit big deals. If we can see them happening, there's something you want to pay attention to. Okay, yeah. In fact, I'm going to add a little text box for my records. Okay, we're going to adjust some of these angles to see if we can find a true angle within here. Let's start at the wick at the bottom here. And let's see if we can combine these. So I got wick, 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 core, bit of a hidden battler, and then a move up. So that might be one worth using. Although we press underneath here with the cores, I don't generally like to do that. Let's see if there's a third one we can use, a separate angle. Yeah, I'm going to be primarily concerned with that one. If I got wick, I'm a little bit short. Wick, yeah, I'm a little bit short. I'm going to use this angle. This is the biggest one. Monthly dot KA. This is going to be our true angle. Now, as far as our resistance goes, let's see if we can connect first to our cores. Core, see if it gives me anything. We're getting a pump up here to this area, but no, the candles are not respecting one side or the other, so I'm not really so much concerned about core. Let's go to that wick side, and I don't really have a verification either. Let's go wick to core, wick, core, and a possible verification with price building on here, a pump through here. This is an increase in volume. You can see that the candles are getting wider. Thank you everybody who supports our channel. Thank you everybody who's supporting us and taking care of our family. You guys are the best. This month I'm going to be ministering at the crypto conference, so I'm excited to preach about that on June 14th, 15th, 16th in Woodlands, Texas. Information is on our website. Just scroll down, you'll see all the flyer for that. So I'll be there, and if you're there at the conference, I would love to see you and shake your hand. I'm sure we'll be able to, there's a few of us who are going to get together, probably have a bite to eat, and you're more than welcome to tag along. I know Pastor Keith, and I know Crypto Night. We'll be there a few days. Crypto Night's hosting it, but I'm going to be ministering too and making friends, so I'd love to meet some of you guys. Okay, let's move on to a smaller time frame, but let's talk about this first. If there's an increase in challenge in this up move, okay, it's very possible that what we're dealing with, this needs to be our phantom, bringing our phantom up here. This may be an uptrend in this case, and our mid phantom is going to be somewhere halfway. If our mid phantom is somewhere halfway, do we have verification that there's some kind of response to mid phantom? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, that's awesome. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a verification. Do you want to point it out? I know this is not Tutorial Wednesday, but one verification on the Wix side. Yep, good job, Nardu. What else? There's actually two more, maybe three. Even though there's a limited candles, there's not as much candles. It's still not that unobvious. No, not that one. Price is wicking here. That's one verification. Anyone else see the verification along mid phantom? 10 more seconds. Yep, there you go. Verification. Price responding, building structures along that line. You got it? Okay, so this gives us, when I see this type of thing happening, it gives me more confidence to trade the trend. And it makes me think, hey, there's not just a fluke here, but if price is responding to that. Now, the other thing I like for mid phantoms is to identify the step up when we cross from one side to the other. And in 6.0, we're using step ups that we're not even waiting till we cross all the way. We're just looking for when we cross those areas with candles and cores, when we're on our way or something like that. Although we still put more weight on the ones that are verified. Because of this mid phantom, you can stretch it down if you want to. There should be a step up where we cross these over and we examine to make sure that there is or there isn't. If there isn't, we don't have to put as much weight on it. But even of these little limited candles, we can see we came down here, came up, stopped at the step up, came down. When we were back down here, we did have trouble again at the same exact area. And then when we did find support, we wicked all the way down, not to the line, but to the step up area again. So this is more evidence that the step up is correct. Here's another evidence that the next step up would be, this is the next step up we can examine, and it's going to be where we cross over next. If I'm going too fast, let me just show you. We cross from one side of this trend to the other side. And where we cross over, that middle level, the mid phantom, we crossed over right here. Now from the top to the bottom, we cross over here. So that's where our next step up would be. So let's draw a step up there. We do have verification for the first one. I'm just going to duplicate this one out and borrow it for the second. For the second step up, I don't really have verification just yet. So maybe it's not active. Maybe it's not really at play. But this will be something we'll be looking after to see if there's structure. Now the cores are still in, the cores are a little bit in this area. And maybe that's the next health. And that's possible. So that means we may be wanting to look bullish this month. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to give you some price labels for the major prices for this crypto. If we're looking at price moving up over the next few months, we're looking at 7015. Current price is, it's hard to see, 8020. So it actually loses a 0. And a move doesn't give me a percentage here. That's interesting. I don't like when it does that. Yeah, it doesn't give me a percentage. But we may be looking at there. I'm going to point out some of these major price supports on the monthly before going down. It's important you do your work on your higher time frames. If you can, if you see something, draw it on the higher time frames and then continue going down. So as it is, I'm going to be bullish with this crypto, especially as we come back up into this area. There's an increase in volume. If you don't have equivolume candles, you can just pull up the volume itself and you can see this large increase in volume from here to here. So where's the incentive? What is the incentive for them to do after we're in an area of health if there's an increase? The incentive is for them to rise prices. There's a market at higher prices. They've tested in these areas and there's a health that's coming in. We're in an uptrend and there's an increase in volume that tells us they're willing to pay higher prices for it. So anyone who accumulated would have a reason or an incentive to hold on to higher prices until we can get into those higher territories. This is going to be a more reason there'd be a challenge, especially when you see this. We can also look at this like a pump into a push, like a type of pushing volume. They push it past or out of this area and then they rest, and it can rest on top of the candles. So after the push is done, if you see price resting on top of old supports, or in this case the step up, this is a good sign. Okay, so we can type in text. Because of the increase in volume at the old high, there is an incentive, there is a market for higher prices in this healthy area. There is an incentive for people who accumulated at lower prices to hold on, because people are willing to pay higher prices. All right, now, so there's an incentive for them to hold on. Look for higher prices in the future because we moved into health and price is sitting on its step up. This is a monthly chart. Now, weekly. Of the weekly chart, a big ultra high volume, too large volume at the top of a move is generally reason to come down, and it did. But in the story, it's just coming down to its support. It's natural, okay? So because of this, again, because of this increase in volume in this area, I'm going to be looking for them to challenge again higher prices. So I want to hunt something. I want to hunt a down move. On the weekly, I don't really see it. On the daily, let's see. There's our down move. We got it. This is a down move. We can draw a watch line past these areas. Because we came here, which is not exactly a straight, but yet we still come down, we're thinking parabolic. Okay, so we're going to draw that parabolic. Because we can draw that straight from these structures. But if we're flirting with the line up and down with it, I'm going to be thinking the whole price flow, which is parabolic. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Capture as many of those tops as you can. Let's do it in real life. It's as simple as this. Getting our curve tool, turning it yellow so we can see it, and I usually draw my parabolics in yellow. I'm going to turn off that arrow back to normal. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, because of this, where's the resistance pressure? Should be along this line. At what price? We already gave you that price, but it's approximately there. Does it make sense that this week would have such a large wick, but how price was trying to rise all the way up here during this day? Oh, sorry, today. But the large pressure back here, this is where the pressure should be. That's exactly where the pressure should be, right? Now, if price is able to survive at the end of the day, and I often post candles like this, if price is able to survive at the end of the day, something like that, what does this mean generally? Especially if it's on large volume. What does that mean? Somebody tell me. If by the end of the day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when that candle closes in 9 hours and 45 minutes, and the candle looks like that, what does that mean? Somebody tell me. Huh? Nobody? 5 more seconds. Think about the story. What does this mean? I know somebody out there knows it, my friends. You guys got this?
I'm going to take a...
Correct?
Yeah, it's spiked up, so that means that people bought to the high side, and then it dipped down, but before market closed, it was able to settle on top of the line.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's right. It means that you're able to come into a new area of health. Price settled, like you said, settled on top of there. So this would be a new area, and that would be when the up move should approximately resume. Now, we could, on the daily chart, come down back to challenge this area, and you would probably see a red candle like this. That's very likely. It happens all the time. I see it happen all the time. I usually show you, but now I'm just painting on the candles to show you how it would look. That's a very strong possibility. Possible scenario. You guys can draw this or watch this. Take a screenshot of that. 6th, because this candle 2025 or 25 has not finished yet. Now, as it is, hot mic. As it is, if the candle closes like this, let me show you. Photoshop. What does this mean? Somebody tell me, what does that mean? Bearish? Why?
Because the candle.
It could be bearish, and it could be bearish. Now, I maybe not want to take that trade as a short because of the amount of volume. You may want to see what happens the next day. But yes, it's bearish. If I wanted to take a short, where can I take the short at? Can somebody show me where I can take the short at, where I'd want to sell? Anybody want to show the group? If you were shorting this, it's so important you guys learn these kinds of things, because I won't always be here, and you're going to have millions of dollars in your wallets one day, and you don't want to just follow gurus. You want to learn how to read and draw energy and verify it with your own eyes to see if if price is telling you the story. No, not exactly there. There's another answer. There's another answer. See if you can try again, or anyone else want to try. Draw on the chart. Go ahead and click the zoom annotate button and draw right on my screen. You can draw a mustache on my face. Oh, I already got one. More seconds. Close. There's a better answer, or a more safer answer. What's the more conservative answer? You could do that when you need to zoom in, and that's probably going to give you the intraday.
Is that green line a weekly chart?
This is a daily chart.
No, the bottom.
Oh, the bottom? Monthly.
Monthly? I would after it crosses there.
Okay, so you're talking about buying here? Okay.
No, shorting or buying, depending.
Yeah, sorry, shorting there. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's more safe. You could take a small trade. To me, it's not worth it.
Yeah. It could be a long time to wait all the way to there. Any other answers? Any other bright ideas? There's one better answer I'm looking for. It's a real basic answer. I'm going to hint out. One of these is round structure. So show us where on the map it would be wiser to take a short. And you remember, you could draw this one if you're intraday trading, but you have to zoom in to maybe 4-hour chart. Going from daily, 12, 6, 3 or 4, and then go down. But as it is, 5 more seconds. Here's the hint. Here's an energy center. There's an, come on, you guys got this. Here's another energy center. Where's the other energy center? You guys got this. You know the answer. Ooh, I'm a little disappointed if you guys don't get it. There's the other energy center. So therefore, where's the weakness? Where do we take the short? We take the short at the next weakness. There it is. Good job, Armin. Armin got it. Good job. Okay. You take the short here, past the weakness. Once you come into weakness territory, then you can say, oh, we want to make sure we get out. It's a little bit dangerous. It's risky. If you see this scenario, again, I'm showing you all the options so you know what you're looking at, because you just know price isn't ready. And you don't really want to take the short right here, because if we just in this smaller area or of a shorter uptrend, health appears, you can be on the wrong side of the trade. Okay? You can be on the wrong side of the trade, and we can come into health. So it's better to take the short after the weakness is revealed, because now price just needs to rally the troops. It either needs to rally back down to these areas in green, or all the way towards the bottom, wherever prices those are. Though that's going to be one way you can really just make sure you're being more safe in these areas. Okay? If it was these are some of the possible scenarios you can use. Okay? Let me write down that possible scenario. And I don't think that's how you spell scenario. How do you spell scenario? S-E-N-O or A?
Think of the word scene.
Scene?
It's almost spelled phonetically. Not mistake.
What is it? Okay. So
I believe it's
S-E-N...
S-C-E-N-A-R-I-O. The same way you'd spell scene, like we're shooting a scene in a movie.
Oh, I've seen that.
Exactly. Pun intended.
See, where would I be without you guys? You guys make me look smart. All right. Possible scenario number 2. May 26th week. All right. You guys know how to watch this. As it is, it looks like scenario number 2 is about to play out. Okay, clear your annotation. Okay, if we get pressure on that candle, just not ready. If you win the battle, you need to watch this one really carefully though, right? You need to watch it really carefully. Okay, if you want to give yourself a temporary watch line, go ahead and give yourself draw the cores. I believe this is going to be the more accurate watch line to draw, because if you go core to this core, we getting verification along the top. One verification. So along this angle is probably going to be more the accurate angle rather than just going to the wick side. That was just a quick way of doing the verification. If you see the actual round structure, participate in that verification. It's a more easy way of reading the correct angle without doing a lot of the hard homework or something like that, or longer homework. All right. So as it is, we want to be a little bit patient. I don't want to buy today. I could be buying at a top. There we got it. All right. Praise God. That's the daily chart for Baby Doge, and I hope that map helps you, and you guys can go down into intraday trading what you guys want to. Okay. If you want to, and just as a little preview, if you were trying to get ahead of the curve and see, oh, well, if we do stop there at the end of the day, seeing these structures like this, I want to be thinking this shape. I may simply draw a parabolic in these areas. So if I get the close right at the line and I see prices doing under here on a 1 hour chart, I may be looking to go down. Okay, I don't want to include this just yet, but we can include that. But this is just one option. I don't want to include it just yet. But if you're watching this video and you saw that close at there, that's what I'd be looking at. Okay, as far as price flow goes. All right, let's go. That was a 1 hour. Let's go to the next crypto, XDC. Hope you guys learned stuff. Just following along, reading. Anyone can read. You guys can do it. I believe in you. You're doing fantastic. It looks like we've already done a good map for XDC plenty of times. Let's see. Yeah, this is our last map for XDC. Here's the daily chart. We were showing the flow here. The sword cut would be here. Price rounded underneath the sword cut, and we're on our way down. Let me get something real quick for you. You see.
Is it juice?
Oh no, but I did buy juice this week. I did buy juice. Here is our XDC map all the way down to the three hour. We were talking about a move possibly down here, 17% to closer to 0.29. We might be looking at a move down there. Last we spoke about, this is our map from May 20th. Here's on the 3 hour, there's when we draw the flow. Yeah, and there's the daily chart. Drawing the next weakness that appears. I showed you guys the next weakness that has appeared. And here's our larger weekly chart. Everybody watching our XDC map, you guys have all known one thing about XDC that I keep talking about over and over again, and that is that I have been expecting weaknesses for on XDC. I've been seeing weaknesses. Now I believe that XDC is linked to copper because of a lot of data and intel that we've heard over the years. But because of that, I'm also going to be looking not just at copper, and I'm going to be heavily looking at XDC, and I believe XDC is going to do really fantastic in the future. But every time I look at the map, I keep seeing that it's not the time for XDC. I see that it's just not the time. And I don't think today is any exception. I just think that we're just not ready. The territories are not there. There's still weaknesses, as we can see. So I'm not on Team XDC just yet. I'm going to be. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely going to be Team XDC, but ain't the time. You know what I mean? It's just not the time. So let's go a little bit further. Let's see where we're going, just to give you guys a recap of the stories for XDC. Here was a health. Here's the next health. The weakness appeared underneath this line. Taking the true angle, I believe it's this angle. Duplicating along the bottom, we have some verifications. So this is more of an accurate representation of the current trend. In addition to that, there was a bottom subtrend, okay, meaning as we're going down, more angles are forming within the overall trend. And this is the support that we've been bouncing on. 1, 2, 3. Core, wick, core. And what was predominant is when we came down, we didn't come down all the way down to the bottom phantom. We only came down to here, and we had that large pressure. And this is that same pressure I was just giving you guys an example about on the parabolic. By the way, we pay for equivolume candles. So when we see a wide candle that is very wide compared to some of the other, maybe like a thin candle right here, you know, something thinner. When we see a real wide one, that means there's a lot of activity, and we can see all the pressure in that area, okay? So a lot of pressure, and I believe I put this word last time, but we'll see a lot of pressure underneath this area. It just doesn't have the energy to stay there. It went all the way high, or it stopped all the way high, but came all the way back down and then stopped there at the bottom because it's a red candle. But this candles underneath here is telling us this is a new weaknesses that appeared. I discussed this last time I talked about XDC. I don't believe this is any different. Now look where we actually rejected off of. Is this a coincidence? No, it's not coincidence. So this is a weakness territory, and I believe we're going to be probably going back down to there then. I believe this is going to be a good time for an XDC short. I was supposed to short XDC this week. I was already supposed to. I don't know if I'm too late. Man, I missed that. I wanted to short it this week. I remember talking about it at the end of the video on the 20th. I said, I'm going to short XDC if we can continue getting this weakness. I should have. I didn't. I missed out on that money. Some of you may have got it. So now let's go down to the daily chart. You can see that line looks like flirting, but the larger time frame, the line is still intact. The line is still intact on the larger time frame. So the wicks you're gonna see wicks there. Okay. If you're hunting, in this example, you're hunting the up move in a downtrend. When you're going down, you're hunting the uptrend because the up ones are going the wrong direction. They're all the lemmings. They're the ones that are going to miss out on the money. They're the people that chase the markets. Okay? This is your sword cut. This is all the people that shouldn't be in the market. They're the ones that buy into the downtrend. That's your next weakness. Here's a 6-hour chart. Okay. Here's your next weakness. When we came underneath here, there's the sword cut. And now we're seeing a large down move past that shorter health. It's right that we came down. You guys see that? It's right we came down. And we're probably going to come down still. I wish I would have made that money coming down. But, there's always a trade in the market. Okay. Anyone have any other questions?
I think Triple J posted some comments.
Sorry, 17, 18, 19. Okay, Triple J says, do you see lower? 0.17, and then price is already at 0.3. Okay, so she wrote 0.017. She meant to put 0.018 and 0.019. 0.17. 0.18 with 0.19. Those are lower prices. Yeah, that's our lower number here. Yeah. Are you hearing that again today? But that's what we heard last time. Look at that. That's a prophetic. 0.017, 0.18, 0.019. She keeps hearing that over and over. Maybe there's still another chance. Yep. Yes. So wicks. Yep, she keeps hearing wicks and fast drops. So that was what you heard last time, and this is what you're hearing again. So that's more confirmation. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the time to buy. It's, if anything, you're probably going to make some money on the way down. The percentage of money from there to there, from there to right now, is approximately 85%. Okay, there's our prophetic area.
More comments.
More what? Oh, more comments. We also may have a quick false upside. Yeah, if you're in a short position, a heavy short position, what happens when price comes all the way up back here? If you're leveraged on futures, 5x, 20x, 10x, what happens when price comes way up here?
You get liquidated and you take it in the shorts.
Yeah, you get liquidated. The bigger boys who are shorting, they'll say, thank you. They take your money, even if you're right. So you have to be really careful because you can be right about the larger story, but if you're over trading, you're going to get liquidated because they can spike it and get you this. What about this? What about if you were shorting here? You were correct. But if you were over leveraged and they drive it all the way up to this price, you're going to get liquidated. I don't know, the average person can take a move in the wrong direction up to 35, 34% in the wrong direction. Most people, they take a stop and they'll put their stops higher. The market's a game designed for you to lose. You understand that? The market is a game designed for you to lose. You have to think smarter than your opponent, which is the algorithms, banking, financial institutions. It used to be just people, but now they program advanced programs to see when you're buying and selling. They know all the sells that are here because of maybe the weaknesses that appear. They know that. They have reason to spike it up to these areas. There's actually even people that chase the candles. They know they chase those candles. They buy at the top and then they were wrong because they're not reading the overall energy. So I want you guys to be careful over trading. I always talk about that in every video. I said make sure you're not over trading. Especially be aware against high leverage trading, which is, and now I should use the word over trading because it's part of that. You guys can be right about your analysis. You can be right about the analysis and lose the short-term battle. Why? That's not after class. Because you're playing against an opponent. So she said, listen, we may even have a false quick upside, she's sensing. And she may be right. She may be right. So you got to be careful, even if you're shorting. Okay? If you're shorting, you got to be careful not to over leverage if you're doing futures. Okay? I don't know if I feel comfortable jumping on the gravy train right now. As far as the short goes. If I missed my last entry near sword cut, I should have got in, started my short here. I'd be in a strong position. And I'd hold down to those lower prices. But as it is, I don't feel comfortable just jumping on the short just right now. Yeah. Let me bring this down a little bit lower. So I don't recommend chasing this candle here. Maybe somewhere closer to these prices. If we get another bounce, and then I'll draw the watch line and I'll be like, okay, good. I have a place to get in. But as it is, I don't really have the strong bounce. We just have a little small move right now. I don't know if I can say that's a bounce. It could be just incidental. And then I'll be like, why did I draw that line from here to there? You don't want to draw that line from here to here just yet. If we get a significant bounce, then draw it and then we can take the trade. Any other questions regarding XDC? Any other questions regarding my take with XDC?
I've heard some intel that there might be a banking issue. I believe it's this weekend. Could be wrong about that. But do you think it's plausible that we could hit those lower price points while there's some kind of cyber issue with the banks? Like people not being able to deposit cash or withdraw cash, and so maybe...
I don't see how it'd be exactly related to XDC. I do see something regarding that issue. It's a fantastic question. And I'll show you quickly my take. Alright. Possible watch line. 1 second. There we go. Alright, a question was asked. If there's banking collapses, any kind of banking closures this weekend or something like that, would I be looking for XDC? I wouldn't say it's tied to any one crypto, but a group of cryptos if we see things like that happening. And it's not what you think. If banking collapses tomorrow and there's banking collapses, I actually expect the opposite for a brief time. I actually expect a boon in crypto. Does anybody know why I would expect a boon in crypto prices to go up for a short time? Very short time. Anybody might know?
Maybe people see that as a flight from traditional cash and banking.
Yeah, you're very close to a very basic principle. of human nature. If you can't trust your money one place, what do you do with it?
Find a safer boat.
Find a safer place. Yeah, you find a safer place. If you can't trust your own bank with large money and you have multiple accounts in different places or cash on hand, you're going to generally move somewhere else. And this is why we also heard that prophetically that when there is a big stock market crash due to Israel making a preemptive strike, gas coming out of the ground, that's a marker we're looking at. Then you're going to see the stock market crash. And then approximately about a week after that, they said, that's when you're going to see the cryptos fall. And this matches prophetic dreams that people had where they saw a super sharp rise in crypto and then a fall. Because of these kinds of things, I think that not just retail people are doing this, but large other financial institutions are saying, whoa, we need a safe haven. We got to go somewhere. We need to find a place to keep our money safe. But the problem is that it's only a short-term band-aid, so to speak. So people are going to chase the market. Retail market people are going to take profit in one of those days, and this could lead to a flash crash. The other thing is that it's just basic economics. If the banks collapse, they start collapsing, you're not just going to see that people who are in those accounts try to move try to move their money somewhere else, but also people who take note of that banking collapse. For example, Bank America tomorrow, nobody can do withdrawals. People at Chase Bank are going to be like, whoa, I'm going to move my money into crypto. People at credit unions and so forth and so on, they're all going to move. They're going to do the same. They're going to act in kind. Even if the other banks may not be closer to that danger, some may be more closer to that danger. The problem is it's short-lived. It's very short-lived because if there's no money and people are seeing on TV, banking collapses, the flow of money shuts down. Already it's slowing down because of inflation, but then it really shuts down. There's a squeeze on the flow of money. No one's spending money anywhere. The money that was coming into crypto was not new money for the sake of, yay, the market's going up. It wasn't that kind of money. It was just moving over money. Once those transfers are done, those spikes are over. And so a lot of banks who even do these, some of these banks are going to respond in kind. A lot of smaller banks are going to say, whoa, we need to move our money to safer locations. The crypto market, we see that's going up. Let's do that. And they're going to move that money, but it's going to be for the wealth. It's going to be part of the wealth transfer. So I absolutely see that if there's any big pumps because of banking collapses, that could trigger a very short-term boon. Okay, does that make sense? Triple J says, XDC is part of my wealth transfer strategy. I say billions and zillionaires. Billionaires and zillionaires, yes. Let's look at Turbo. Shift into Turbo. Yay, Turbo. Okay, on OKX. Let's see how far back we go. May 2023. May of 2023. Looks like maybe it launched in May. Yep. All right, so let's look on and did we do one already for this map? Yeah, we did one. Okay, we looked at it last time on Poloniex, and there it is. So yeah, no new real map needed. We're trying to get the close above this resistance area. In this area right there. When did we last look at this? Okay, we already hit the resistance. We're trying to get above and hold above this resistance from here. That's going to trigger the next trade. These all move out. Okay, we need the close above. We need the close above this price, 0018. Waiting for a close. Get your weekly close. Above. Very messy candles on the smaller time frames. Our last health was here. We've talked. You can see that structures is what we're looking at. So get me some closes there, and we'll continue we'll continue looking. We got 2 days left. Sorry, 9 hours left on the weekly chart close. No. 1 day and 10 hours left on the weekly chart close. I'd be careful. I would be careful chasing this candle right now. Please be careful. Especially in volatile markets, we can get some large wicks. back into these areas, and then we'll need to rest underneath here. Otherwise, if we can get the close, we'll rest and pull back. So get your entry prices closer to there, draw a new watch line, wait for your breakout if you want to, and then take the trade to the top side. As far as this goes, you're gonna come into new territory. I don't have any new numbers for you. See, if that's the breakout, the descent will be the same. That will be the answer. Yeah, I do. Sorry. Your resistance will be somewhere closer to, I believe your resistance can be closer to 0.08. If we can get entries down here, ooh, actually pretty big. That'd actually be a very large move. Huh. I'm also going to give you the old high, just so you have that for your record. Old high. 0.0035. So most likely I would really, since a large percentage, I want to definitely make sure I get that close by after we rest. The old support is going to be there. It's on 0018. Okay, and then if we get the close down there for the weekly chart, I wouldn't mind taking a trade up to there. It'd be a very large move up. This one, I think I said last time, it's not my cup of tea. It's very volatile, but you could see it probably do.
I think there's a difference on this one from other exchanges. The price is, I think, 28 here, and it's 36.
0028.
All the other ones. I think there's cleaner candles on the other exchanges.
Yeah, look how big of a difference that is. Let's look on MEX. Yeah, it looks the same shape, just different price points.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, very different. Wow, that's weird. I don't like that. Here's your old high. I'm gonna fade this away. You're already getting above that old high here. It looks almost identical.
Yeah.
But different. Thank you. Here's going to be our support. Let's give the one line angle here. Core, wick, verification, wick. Alright, so that's going to be the right one you want to use. Phantom gives you verification. We already hit that verification on the Phantom. I want to be above this price. 0030. We're getting a lot of pressure already as it is. Please be careful at the old wick. It might be a sign of slowing down. I don't say that's resistance if just we close there at the core. But I would like to be above that old high. And then we can rest. Get me a good rest. Look to be above here and here.
Thanks.
Of course.
Is there anything on a smaller time frame in terms of volume that would have any indications of
Yeah, we're going to look there next. We're seeing a large pump in volume, which could be a distribution, but there has to be evidence that there's a strong sell-off in that area. I like ultra high distribution into an area of weakness. In this case, this could be just a pushing volume into this new territory, which happens sometimes too. This way you have to read it in sequence. So if we look at the volume, back here we had ultra high volume into the up move, a slowdown in volume here. When we came down, we also came down on ultra high volume. So this was saying, hey, there's some selling in here, but it's not ready to go down because there's more volume coming in on the down move, which means they're still buying it. In addition to that, in this up move, it's not just the bars, but the move itself. If there's heavy volume into that move, and we challenge that area again, which we did, and the challenge was on higher volume, that means there's an incentive for higher prices. So earlier in the video, when I was talking about these type of increases in volume, I talk about that saying, hey, there's a reason for them to buy it. So now you can draw your next watch line and look for health back up to those areas, if not higher, because there was increase. They already showed there's a market up here. So now the big boys are going to want to buy it. They're going to buy it on either no demand, which this is no demand area, or they're going to buy it again in big chunks, ultra high volume down bars. So what we saw was them challenged to the higher prices, but it wasn't just to the roof based on the main angle, the main key angle. It's now above. So this gives me more indication this is what we're dealing with, is a type of push or pushing volume. They need to throw a lot of money at it to stop these guys, to stop the retails from taking profits at this resistance. Otherwise, as it is, if we didn't clear this line, the retail market starts flooding supply in this area, and you'll naturally see prices mushroom over. So it's much better for those in power to throw big money at it to maintain the price of stocks. By the way, this stuff happens all the time in the market. A report just came out that Disney bought over, I think it was like $1 billion of their own shares. $1 billion of their own shares, which is just really crazy because the price of Disney is like $70, something like that. That's a lot of money to throw at. And it turns out the reason they were buying their own shares is because they're trying to maintain the price from falling. Okay, it's not because they want a big... Now, part of it was they wanted to have a big seat on the board, but they're trying to also maintain their own price because it's bad presser. So you'll see sometimes big financial institutions who are invested spend money to make money. It happens in business all the time. If you want to make money, you throw money at advertisement. You make a big movie, you throw money at advertisement. Okay, in addition to production and quality. So sometimes it takes money to make money, and they have to throw money at it. So you'll see big pushes at times to get into new territories, and then after that they don't have to throw money in there because now these people are appeased. The psychology behind it is that normally they'd be taking resistance because they're like, oh, I better take some profit. But when they see they're so much in profit, there's an emotional shift in people, and emotions drive the market. If you don't believe me, go to a casino and find any person who walked into the casino who said, yeah, I'm only going to make about $100. And then watch what they do when they hit it really big and they make $300. An emotional shift happens in that person. They start saying, ooh, maybe I should roll the dice a little bit further. What's one more roll? My brother-in-law, this happened to my own brother-in-law. He walked in with $20, made $700 at the table. $700. Was it the craps table? Was it I can't remember what game. Was it roulette? I don't know. I think it was roulette or craps, one of those. And then what happens is he ended up going down to $500. He said, oh, I lost too much. I'm gonna play to $400. And he went all the way back down to $200. And he said, okay, that's it. I'm out. He made $20 to $700, but walked away only with $200. And that was about maybe 3 months ago he did it. And this is a very interesting thing. It's hard for people to walk away once they're incentivized to stay in the market. That same psychology of gamblers and trading is very similar. When people see that long up candle and their accounts are on profit, they were going to take some profit. Now they're not going to take profit. Right? That's actually known about. It's a known phenomenon, and that psychology is used in the markets. So this is where these people would have flooded and got out, and so many sell orders would have come in. That's supply. They would say, I'm not going to put in my sell orders. I'll cancel my sell orders. I don't even want to sell order altogether because I'm in profit. I'm going to let my profits rise. You guys understand that? Does that make sense? Okay, that's how this works. So these guys... Huh?
That makes sense, yeah.
So these guys are appeased. We can take this angle and do a mid-phantom transformation. By the way, there's a reason this really works. We're going to talk a lot about that in Sword Method 6.0. Our mid-phantom transformation is going to give us maybe a closer target. If it's this next week, you're talking about prices closer to 0.014 cents. Prices right now 0.03. Let's see the percentage here. Maybe it's more accurate. Still a lot of money. 365. It's still the 360%, which is very interesting. That's really good.
So do you think that's where they're trying to push it up to, or
yeah.
do you think they're done, or?
Yeah, I would think so right now. That's where they're going to try to. Now, if we're going to be watching this and we get these closes like this for the week, this is what I want you to do. Okay, everybody? This is what you would do in this scenario. If you get the close and we're about here, that's health. Okay, so what I would want to do is I would want to put like on a 12, 6, and a 4-hour chart and see if we can hunt that watch line if it's really clear. I don't see anything for 6. I didn't see anything, so I know it's not on 12. On a 1-hour chart, we may get a watch line. Okay, and in this case, I'm just going to draw something for you so you would know approximately what to look for if you guys are watching this. If we see prices come up higher and still come lower, back to rest on top of the larger area, then draw your new watch line, and that's where you would take your move. Okay, that would be a possible watch line. Look for a new watch line down if the weekly close is still bullish and healthy. All right, now the reason that's important for the weekly close is because now you're trading with the trend. If the larger move is still upwards and the weakness hasn't come in on that larger time frame, then all you do is hunt the down move. So if price is going up, the fish swimming against the stream is the easy one to catch. That's why the bear, the hungry bear, stands on the river with the stream coming from his back. You'll see the salmon, they jump out of the water swimming against the stream. They're easy to catch. They eat them all day long. Watch the Nature Channel. On the weekly chart, if we're in healthy territory, you hunt the down move. Remember that. Hunt the down move in an uptrend. Okay? And the opposite is true. Hunt the up move in a... hunt the down move in an uptrend. And in a downtrend, you hunt the up move. Those are the fish swimming against the stream. Okay? All right, let's move on. 1INCH. All right, so I have some images to show you from 1INCH. I was examining these this week. These are some of the things I noticed about 1INCH. Let me see where I can point it for you. Pull up the actual chart so I can zoom in where I need to show you. Okay, so I have 1INCH on Binance. All right. Now, I examined this crypto called 1INCH, and we've done it before quite a bit. On a weekly chart, on a monthly chart, what I see coming in the market is I see health coming in 1INCH. A larger health. So as I was examining this crypto, in the downtrend, in the normal downtrend, I thought I deleted these lines. Why are they back here? I don't need to show all of those lines. Okay. In the larger downtrend, in the last down moves, there was a big push in volume to the downsides. Okay. There was still some selling that was happening at the top here, followed by down bars. So in this up move, there was some selling that was happening. So that means there should be a reason for it to go down, okay, to these areas. And when we came down to this area, there was a large spike in this area at the down move. Now I'm going to explain to you what this spike is. At first, I didn't really see the connection to this area on the smaller time frames, except for this up move followed by an immediate down bar that closed near the low. But look at the spike all the way up here. This was selling again in these areas. Okay, there was an increase in volume in the overall story, so that means at some point in the future they're going to challenge these prices again, and they did challenge those prices again. So here was that first one. Here's the second one. They had reason to challenge this area again because of the increase in volume. This is what I teach you guys. right? 3 times today I taught you this technique. If you watch the video today, you're going to understand that. And we talk about volume every so often, and we really make a big point to talk about some of these tech principles. Again, the increase in volume, this is going to be an incentive for them to challenge the prices again. But at the moment, in this up move, it is selling. So there's reason for it to come down more immediate. But look in the future for them to challenge those numbers again. And they did, okay? So they challenged them again. But at the moment, it was selling in this area. Now, we can read this on the weekly chart, but we also want to read what's happening on the macro scale. Not just the micro scale, but the macro scale. So again, follow me what I'm about to show you guys. I want to not just know what's happening on the smaller time frame in the story. I want to know what's happening in the big, larger story. So I'm going now to the larger monthly chart. And as I look at the monthly chart, it's going to start telling me a story. Long wick was just part of the larger down move. And this is what it looks like in the larger story. So reset your mind and give it another glance. Look at it from another perspective and see what you see. What I see is a large down move and buying coming in the larger story. On the monthly chart for that month, there was so much accumulation that price drove up too much. They had to cool down their buying to the next move. And the next down move was on no demand. Okay? Too much buying. Buying has to happen on the up moves or down bars. With the up moves and up bars or down moves and down bars. Which one? Professional buying. The answer, you guys all know it, right?
Is it down bars?
Down bars and down moves. Yes. Okay, down bars and down moves. So when we see we're in a downward trend on the larger time frames, the trend, and we see this ultra high increase in volume, and we look at the next bars and say, wait a minute, the next bars in that district or that little area were all up. What can we associate this with? We can associate with buying, professional buying, big buying, to the tune of how much? I'll show you. You guys don't believe me? Look at this. To the tune of about $39 million. Okay, to the tune of about $39 million. It's coming in the markets at that. Professional money, if the average volume was about here, that was the market, normally sitting around 10. But then we see this large influx of money, and on that down bar, which is this wick one, right? That big one, that wick, that's the bar. Too much buying is going to be revealed in the chart. So they have to cool down their buying because they're not ready for it to go just up just yet. They want to accumulate a little bit more, but now the market's desaturated. Look at the volume. And if I'm wrong, which I'm not in this case, if it really wasn't buying, it was just selling, then what happened to these lower prices? Because both, this is how I know I'm not wrong. Look at the wick here on this next bar. I'm going to put it in yellow. Yeah. Look at the wick. The wick is here. The close. This wick is lower than this wick. And the close is closer than these, the last two. So if it was really something else, and they were just, everybody's panicking, why didn't they panic here? At the better price. No, what it tells me is that it was starting to be accumulation. And accumulation, they have to hide their activities. That's why buying happens into down markets. When there's panic, the professionals are saying thank you. And your confirmation is the next bars. We didn't continue going down. We actually just went sideways. So there's nothing really to show for it. This is accumulation. That's exactly what this is. Okay. You can put a big A for accumulation or buying. Accumulation. Now, accumulation is usually what happens over time, and buying is just there. But I would say I shouldn't say accumulation because there's not really showing over time, but there's buying. Okay. Now, that's on the monthly chart. If I look at the flow of price for 1 inch on the weekly, it makes a little bit more sense. Look at the parabolic. When we come into this area, that's what? Health. Where's the sword cut? The sword cut is now. This is the sword cut. What do we see? Price is bouncing on the sword cut. Round structure, larger round structure, a bounce on sword cut. Okay, something else to show you. If I'm drawing this area and I'm using our new technique, okay, just say we cut this area here, from here to here. And one of our new techniques we're using in Sword Method 6.0 is to give us a projection of the descent. Okay? What I call the DP target is if I see weakness appear, the last thing that happened, the descent, the last thing that happens before we go down, we calculate that angle. I think I did this on the monthly chart. Yep, on the monthly chart. Okay. I calculate that angle. I take that exact angle, I duplicate the distance down. In this case, it's on wick side. And then what we do is we take that distance from one side to the other, and I duplicate that distance by bringing it down, and it gives me the new angle. If I'm being exact, that's basically the principle. If I'm being exact, I'm just drawing a line and make sure dash is not on, but straight. Okay, and then I just take that angle and I duplicate it back. It's going to show me approximately where the bottom should be. And I just follow that angle along, and I know where the bottom should be. In this case, we hit the bottom almost exactly at 24 cents. Okay, we talked about that. This is going to be a big preview in Sword Method 6.0. I'm doing this quite a bit in Sword Method 6.0. You're going to see me do this more often, but we did the preview this weekend. So if you missed it, on Wednesday. So there should have been health here, right? That's basically what we can calculate. There should be health here if there is health. The next thing that can, by the way, that should have been the bottom. So if that's not the bottom, then we do the GP projection. So after doing the DP projection, we can see that there was support along that line, even on the weekly chart support. So there should be health here, and there's buying coming in. Okay? Now, the next health has appeared here. So, what's left to do? We can calculate the next DP projection. If this is our health, what was our last true angle? It is this angle right here. Wick core, taking the distance from here to here. I did it in orange, by the way. Sorry, from the top. I did it in orange. I'll bring it up so you guys can see it. 1, 2, see these angles? Take that distance from here to here, duplicate it, it's here. That's where our next resistance should have been. And guess where it was? Along that line. Lo and behold, after we broke into the next health, which was basic parabolic, that's where we hit that angle. That makes sense? I know it's advanced. We're going to do a lot more in 6.0, so I'll be teaching this more often. But isn't that really cool, right? Very cool. So this is new, something we're doing. It's terrible. Oh, the bag's still in there. The tea bags. Don't leave your tea bag in there too long. It's intense. What's also intense? When you go camping and you sleep. You do that intense. If this is the last resistance and we come down one more time and we bounce, we're going to be looking for sword cut to be our support. We're also going to be looking, I'm going to show you the next supports. It's here, closer to 3, 6, and the actual parabolic. I'm going to show you that closer to 2.9. We're almost done with this one. Follow along. If you guys learn this on one, or you start gleaming these principles, you're going to get better and better at drawing your maps and navigating your maps. Okay. The parabolic support is here. Price may bounce, therefore, either here or right at sword cut itself. 3.6 or 2.9. And we're probably going to bounce at sword cut, which is 3.6. Okay. If we go up, we're going to go up to our larger target. I believe we're going to go up to our larger target since we hit our smaller targets here. We've also took the angle, and I did it in red, just to show where we should have broken out or hit our resistance based on just this wick angle. But we already broke above that, so I'm not really using that one, but just to show that I did that analysis to be more thorough. It's already broken as a health. So, what's left? Weekly chart, blue resistance. If you want to give it a label, you can. Text weekly dot. Okay, weekly foundational watch line. See? So this is the bigger, larger key angle you're going to be looking at. Okay, that's the bigger one. And if it hits this season, you're looking to hit around 92 cents. Again, current price is closer to 43 cents. If you get breaks into here, that's your next larger health. So there's a smaller health right now that you're in. You're in a healthy territory. Maybe you can put lowercase health because we're still in this downtrend. And this is your larger health here. That's your major health. This is your smaller one. I need a better H. There we go. And that's basically 1 inch. If I'm going to buy this crypto, I'm going to zoom in now to a daily chart. And then we're already on a daily chart. Let's zoom in. No, we're not. Yeah. And we're going to try to draw the watch line. All right. Do we have a watch line for this one that we can draw to enter the crypto? Absolutely. The watch line is going to be here. Okay, let's do core to core. It's closer to about right there. And I'm going to make this white and dotted. Now the reason this is correct is because I got wick, core. So I'm going to be looking to get a break above here, and then I take the trade. You got it? If you're short-term trading, you may want to just set your profit target closer to this top line. You don't have to know the exact price. You can, I'll give it to you. But that number is going to change every day. It's much better for you just to set an alert on your watch line and then act in kindly. To do, click on your line. Your toolbar will come up. Look for that little alarm clock button. Click your alarm clock. And you can type in 1 inch now at profit short term target. Look for breakout for next trade up. Just to give you guys. Now, if you're not in this crypto right now, I wouldn't really be chasing this little smaller move. I would like to buy again at sword cut if possible. Otherwise, I'd like to buy once we break above that. Those are going to be when I take the trade. I want to take the trade above here. I don't mind paying a higher price to get a safer entry. Otherwise, I'm going to get closer to here or closer to here. If we can get to 29, best possible entries. And that's for 1 inch. Do I have any other questions regarding 1 inch? You guys got it? On my map for 1 inch. Ian says, I'm holding myself back from making 1 inch jokes. We'll save that for the men's meeting, right? XRP. I see something on XRP. And you may not want to hear this, but I see weakness on XRP. All right. So this next report is going to be about my XRP. I believe there's weaknesses on XRP that have appeared. I'm going to show some images for XRP. Okay. For XRP, on the larger weekly chart, on the larger monthly chart for XRP, I see weaknesses appearing. Monthly chart XRP, weaknesses appearing. Okay, here's why. Okay, pay attention.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Hot mic. Core, in the past, there's that principle again, where we're seeing the wick challenge at the core. Sign of weaknesses. Here's the core, here's another wick challenge. This kind of sets the boundaries for some type of range trading for XRP on the largest time frames, the largest scales. It's very possible what we're seeing is just range trading oscillation right now. In addition to that, core, close to core, cores, wicks, it's in alignment with the larger parabolic. So therefore, what is this large down move into this area? Weakness. If we rise this month, and the month's almost going to be over in like maybe 5 or 6 days, today's the 25th, okay? If we see a rise to the underside of that parabolic, especially if we stop, we already spiked into that area and came back down. There's pressure already to the underside. I believe weakness is appearing. This is a weakness territory. Healthy is above here, but looks like price is phasing through onto weakness. XRP. The current prices are around 53 cents, but take a look at some of these numbers for XRP here. Closer to 16 cents. 16, 17, 18, 19. Somewhere around, I think it's 18 cents for XRP. That's not looking good at the moment.
Can you repeat that? I want to make sure I heard you right.
Okay, 16, 17, 18 cents range for XRP seems to be the boundaries of this barrier. Now, there's other reasons why I believe we can get there. This is just one image I'm showing, monthly chart. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is more evidence that this is the case. Take a look at this on XRP. I drew this yesterday. This is that same line for the monthly chart, but the weekly seems to be adhering to the same line as well. Okay. Look at the cores on the wick. This is a weekly chart. This ain't that monthly chart. The weekly is very accurately responding to this. So I don't believe this is just a fluke. And here's the phase through. Large move down, phase through into this area. Okay. In addition, by the way, I turned on that forecast, the Lux Algo forecast indicator, and it's also saying the same thing, moving down below these. I thought that was interesting. But I never start with that Forex Lux Algo. I don't use it too often. Okay. Because I don't like my opinion to be biased. But how many times have you guys seen me draw maps and Lux Algo's forecast gives you almost the exact same thing? So many times. Just ask Superfood. He's been with us for a long time. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something else. On a smaller, now there's a reason I pointed out that new technique today. There's a few big changes to Method 6.0 where we're making some modifications to the flat analysis. But one of those analysis is that core challenge. If you guys are new to this, if you look at the highest level and you see where that core is and price come up only to wick to touch where those cores are, this is that core challenge or a wick challenge to the core. And when you see that, usually it's a sign of weakness, especially if you see reversal bars and you're able to draw more weaknesses and cut those areas. That's usually going to be a stronger move down. This is a monthly chart. Now the same thing is happening in this smaller area on a smaller time frames. So go back into this little zooming out area. Look where the core is on the weekly chart. Wick challenge. Wick challenge. Weakness. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So what we saw was weakness into the support in more weakness areas. So this weakness is I'm seeing weakness in the background on XRP phasing into this area. Prices at the moment coming into weakness on the weekly charts. All right. Number three. So that was number one. Weakness, monthly chart. Weakness, weekly chart. Weakness in the background here. You could say that's probably 4 now. The next one is into this area. In the background, there's weakness. There's selling. Ultra high volume, up bar, and buying, professional buying has to happen on down moves, and professional selling has to happen on up moves. Here's an up move. Ultra high volume but nothing to show for it. The next bar is immediately down. We come into this area. Do we have no demand? You bet your baloney. Look at this. Ultra high volume. We come back into this area on the high. Where's the volume? It's average at best. I would say that this average volume is the average line, that little white line here. See that little white line in the middle? That's supposed to be the average, right? But I would say that in comparison to this move, this is very low. So it's not exactly no demand, but it's low demand. And I put the word LD for low demand. Okay? Ultra high volume, now no demand. Normally that'd be good if it was on the buying side, or if we saw increases in volume, we would say, hey, they have a reason to challenge for higher prices. But we're seeing that there's nobody wants to sell anymore after the big sell was over. So this is like the opposite side of the market. Kmart has a big deal on toasters. They raise the prices, and there's a big surge the weekend. Everybody buys toasters. Then next week, nobody's buying toasters anymore. So they have to lower the price ever so often. Then they lower that prices, and there's still no big push for toasters. The market's already oversaturated for this. XRP is probably going to move down. If you just read it in context of the territory, it's going to go down. All right, here's a daily chart now for XRP. Reading price flows, a little bit smaller. Health would come on here. Health would come on here. The weakness would appear here underneath these bars. That's what's been happening more recently. Weakness. Weakness. The watch line is here. We're not there on this watch line. That would be some kind of health, smaller health. The sword cut for this parabolic here was right there, and we got two touches. 1, 2, those weaknesses. Here's the watch line on the bottom side. Wick, not this one, but the general move is up here. You want to know where to short XRP? You short it under here while we're still within this down move. Otherwise, it's just a little delayed, and we may come back to challenge sword cut closer to 59 cents one more time. But as it is, if we come below here, we're going down. Now look what the forecast indicator says. It says the same thing. Look at this. Move down, move up, move down. And just for record, the forecast is saying 39. I at the moment, I would expect lower prices. Okay? So I'm going to say, for me, I'm expecting lower prices on the higher time frames. Yeah. So I'm going to expect even lower prices than the 39. I'm going to be expecting these lows. I'm expecting prices closer to 19, somewhere over here. By the way, here's XRP forecast indicator on the weekly chart. And it says the same thing. Down here. It's saying there may be one more push to the upside before that down move. Yeah, it's possible at the moment. But on longer term, right now, XRP bearish. I think you can get XRP at lower prices. Tommy says, what the timeline of potential move down to 16 cents? I don't really have a big time frame for this one. What chart is this on? Bitstamp. Let me see if I have an exact time frame. See if I can get one, something closer. Are we talking about hitting some of these lower numbers if possible? I didn't include this line. I was supposed to. I would be looking. I don't think it's going to go straight down there, but I would say sometime, let's see, sometime over the next year, Here's 2020. Here's December of 2024, and if I'm just looking at the flow of price, we may be somewhere out here, 2025, May of 2025. So somewhere over the next year or so, we could see things like that beginning to appear. The vortex is actually just next month, though, so I'm a little bit weary. Usually when you see a strong vortex, there's a sucking of price. Sometimes doesn't pull all the way into those areas, but I've seen many times where there's strong vortexes, you'll see price get tugged into those areas for a day or so, something like that. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. At the moment, I can say there's weakness. So if I'm not saying to short XRP, unless I want to short that smaller daily chart one, maybe to 39 cents, I wouldn't short all the way down to 17 right now. No, I'm not saying that we are going to go down there immediately, but I would like to take the smaller trade if we can get there, maybe 39 cents, something like that. And you can, once you get into that next weakness, take that angle, duplicate it out here at core, and it should give you that same exact story, generally that same story, somewhere where there's support lower. Okay, that's a trade I might take as a short on XRP, but as it is, I'm just don't trust buying XRP right now. Weakness has entered XRP. I can reduce my position of XRP. I'm already not so heavy XRP. I always have XRP for a longer term, but if I believe I can get it at a lower price, I generally will sell some of my position shorter term back for some of my, or in this case, I'll probably sell some of my longer term back to see if I can double my holdings or increase my coins, buying them back at a lower price. So if the current price is 50 cents and I can get it for 25 or even 20, even just 25 cents, then I doubled the holdings I have for XRP. This is never financial investment or trading advice of any kind. This is always for educational, entertainment, and comedic purposes only. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be aware against high leverage trading. This is also important for you to know that past performance is never indicative of future performance. I want you to know that if you see things in the markets, trust your eyes. If you see weaknesses, I wouldn't say now's the time to buy XRP because of the evidence that I see. I would say absolutely not. I think there's a better time to buy. I would like to buy when we built maybe above this watch line here. That'd be good. Or at a lower price. But if we see evidence that price is off range trading, this is 17 cents is the next likely low. But so yes, what's a good price to reduce your XRP position? Now, the next question was, what's the price to reduce your XRP position? The answer is now. Because this is where the sword cut is at of that larger parabolic. It's there. I'm gonna show you. Look. Yeah, that's your sword cut. And where's price at? It's there today. So you have a chance to get out. Okay. If you see any moves up right now, I wouldn't trust the move up. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't care if tomorrow price goes and say, look, Jason, price skyrocketed. Look at the spikes here. I don't want to be chasing this candle right now. Those types of spikes could happen here. But the structure's already in. I'm not going to trust one candle spike with large years worth of this weakness. This could have been healthy if price could stay upon. But once we're underneath these areas in a downtrend, we're making lower highs. Therefore, I don't want to trust it right now. It'd be nice if we had that breakout, but price seems to be a larger move is at play. And when I see this larger move, I'm going to say something. This is a larger move. Because this larger move, price has no business really being in this territory at the moment unless it needs to gather some more strength. Okay? One more thing I want to look at. Yeah. Yep. Apart from that, it's probably not going to be a straight shot down. Draw your next watch line and you'll be ready to go. Anyone else questions regarding XRP? That's going to be my next watch line. Set an alert. Look for prices. Look for entry for possible short. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this and put this a little bit lower because I want to make sure I'm below that line, getting some closes below that, and put it right about there. I want to get structures in this area and get the short. Yeah, I want to get the short here. I don't mind paying a lower price and taking the short down if I get the next trade triggered. For me, that's moves underneath here. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. Brandon of Last Days prophesied XRP to $8 soon. Okay. A lot of people have been prophesying about XRP for a lot of years. I believe XRP is going to do fantastic. Bob P says, I can see that they're pushing it down to accumulate after clarity. What was the name of the future price indicator? Oh, that one is called the... I spoke about it in the beginning. It's called the Lux Algo Echo Forecast, the Echo Forecast indicator. Yeah. 2 years ago. When soon? Yeah. So my job For you guys who are maybe watching this clip on YouTube or something like that, you guys can join us. We have live sessions. We want people here in our live session. Praise God. Our website is www.patreon.com/jsong_7. You can join us. We have sessions three times a week on Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have our WordRoom on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you to join us for hearing the Word of God. And we have a special service for you guys online, preaching to you and sharing the Bible, reading the Bible together. Just like we have smaller Bible studies at the end of every session. On our website, you can join up and get access to our full videos to see all the content that we post every day. You can also just sign up for our report tier for only $12 a month if you want accesses to the image notes. And we'll give you a shorter recap version of some of the content of the videos. If you're signed up for Dive, you can make some requests and join us and get those links for the meetings and show up and ask me questions and make requests of your own charts. And we really appreciate your support of our ministry. Everybody who's donating to us, you're the reason I get to do this full time. I don't have to withdraw from my own accounts. I can actually build my wealth along with you guys and teach you how to read price maps and see what you're reading. If you're watching this and you're new, I want you to remember, many of you who are part of the wealth transfer communities are going to be millionaires and billionaires. The last thing you need is your Uncle Joe or your cousin Vinny telling you what kind of cryptos to buy when they don't know anything about anything. They don't know how to read. Okay? They're just telling you what some guru said. Last thing you need is to go on YouTube and to just see some guru telling you, hey, buy this crypto, buy that crypto. If you don't know how to read, you don't know how to get closer to timing and to see what's happening before your eyes. You're going to be millionaires or billionaires. You can't afford to be throwing millions of dollars at stuff. You need education. You need to learn how to read price, movement, and energy. You have to. It's going to be it's part of your business if that's what you're doing. So you're going to have to be able to see energy coming in before your eyes and know what type of actions to be taking. So in our classes, if you're watching this, in our sessions, we give techniques and teachings about how to read price action. Sometimes we'll just write on our labels to show you guys. We also, in our community, join prophetic information, prophetic targets. And sometimes we see overlapping of prophetic targets with our data. Those are the times that are very optimistic for our community members. We have so many people in our community members who are well versed in prophetic coins, as well as some people who are prophesying live during our sessions. And if you see these kinds of things, it can help you understand what's happening with the flow of price. In addition to that, coming to our sessions, you sit over my shoulder and you can watch me reading price live before you, performing verification analysis, performing some complicated technical analysis to help you start understanding what's really happening with some of your favorite cryptos, as well as some of the targets and money that's potentially still on the table, how much percentages, where those price targets are, what numbers we're looking at today, because price changes over time. The targets, sometimes targets are upwards, sometimes targets are downwards. We call that a plus or a minus. And so sometimes there's more money on the table, sometimes there's less money on the table, sometimes we have to wait very patiently for price to come into new areas. So we talk about various concepts. And that's why we're grateful for you here. I'll see you guys later. I need to show you Bitcoin. All right, here's our Bitcoin map. Where's our previous Bitcoin map? Okay, let me show you my...
Have some coffee?
Yeah, smoothie sounds good, darling. Yeah.
Is it a fish smoothie?
Is it?
No. Watermelon smoothie.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. Maybe next time.
Yeah, you guys are talking about juice minute. I'm like eating a liquid protein fish. All right. We talked about health in Bitcoin. Regular fish with honey, barbecue sauce. Yeah, with honey, that would have been nice, right? Just barbecued, stir-fried fish. It was just like stir-fried, not grilled, which would be nice with barbecue sauce. But this was interesting. Anyway, we talked about our health in Bitcoin. And I showed you 2 points of health, and I showed you the projection. All right. Now, on the Bitcoin, we took the major weekly chart angle, And I showed you there's some health appearing by virtue of being above this area, closer to 69. It's a little higher because that dot needs to come higher. This move up here and sitting down was our first sign of health. If we move up too fast, it's not good, but generally this is the areas we want to start looking for Bitcoin to rise. In addition to all of that, if we take the key angle at the bottom, I believe this is closer to the true angle, which is this dotted one here, and we duplicate out. This is the chart from Wednesday, by the way. Wednesday at 5:20. Yeah, Wednesday at 5:28 a.m. for me. Early, right? And we take that angle and we duplicate here at the top, and we take the distance from here to here using our new technique, son. And we take the distance from here to here. We can now get an area closer to where we believe our next target would be. If price moves up today, that target is closer to $80,021. Okay, $80,021. This is my DP projection. Okay, this is using our descent after we broke into a smaller health. How far we'd get. Now, normally we would go only to here, but since we broke out of this area, my target's now up here at $80,000. Here's what happened this week. Is that a daily chart on index? Okay, hold on. Okay, here's what happened. Price not ready to hold, came down exactly to our support and sat on it with a small bounce. Weekly chart tried to close. Sorry, the day before that was on the 23rd, tried to come below, but stopped here. The next day, tried to come below, stopped up here. Structure above this area. The number for this support at the time was 67,000. Today, the number is a little bit lower at 67,692. Okay, I'm still bullish Bitcoin. Okay, I'm still bullish Bitcoin, and of the next projection up, we're cracking above that resistance. Not enough to sustain above here, I believe. Therefore, it's going to give us more confirmation. We're on our way up to these areas. If you do the mid-phantom transformation for this area, you're going to notice it's going to give us a vortex somewhere around that same price and around May 29th. Okay, as it is, I see health in Bitcoin still. Okay, I don't see major weaknesses. I still see health. On the weekly chart, we saw that large round structure that's here on top of that old monthly line. That's what I've been saying. I see the Lord showed me a vision of rounding on top of a blue line. That was what's played out over the weekly chart. So I'm still bullish Bitcoin. Here's that monthly cores. It's about here. This is the flat area. This is the old highs. And we're building round structures on top of this area. I have a hard time believing there's heavy weakness right now in the markets. I still believe there's bullishness in Bitcoin. And that may translate into bullishness in the market. Okay, but as it is, this is where we're at. I want to be looking to be bullish, possibly closer to 80,000. Okay, somebody asked me, what's your numbers for Bitcoin? Right now, I'm seeing a move possibly up to 80,000 at the moment. Okay. Alrighty. Now, anybody have any other questions for me regarding Bitcoin? Here's a smaller look at Bitcoin for today if you guys want to know. I'm going to go down all the way to a 6 hour, and there's our watch line, 2 hour. All right. I'm going to hide these lines real quick. Oops. At the moment, here's a 2 hour chart. Because this is still in alignment with the larger supports, which I showed you, which are closer to there. The smaller stuff that's going on is simple watch line. If you're looking for a trade this week, you're probably going to find health in Bitcoin. Okay, this needs to come down a hair. It's not that, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this. Okay, we got core, 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 core. Got it? You see that? So what is this here? Somebody tell me what that is. Anybody know?
Round structure?
There's only 3 candles. It's really hard to read round structure. What else? What about classification? What would we classify this? What else is this?
Bullish closing above.
Yeah, bullish closing above. This is a breakout, or this is a move into healthy territory. You could also, somebody say, if we just, this would be a phase through. Yeah, technically. We were supposed to reject where? Here. We bend. When we're here, we go down, and then we face through. What is that? That's health. In other words, this is health. So if we're healthy on the longer term charts, this is a 2-hour chart. We've now stacked the odds in our favor. 2-hour chart. This is something you guys can watch today if you want to. We've stacked the odds in our favor that we're moving up at the moment. More closer to now. It's not guaranteed anything, but you've stacked the odds in your favor because you've now done analysis on larger term charts and brought it down to smaller term charts. Okay, now if we're going up, we're going to check the descent for to see how far we're going using our new technique. We don't necessarily need Tiger analysis to do this, but if we're using our new technique to see about how far we're going to go, we need to calculate what happened before the breakout. So here's the energy centers that are happening so you guys can easily see this. 1, 2. We take the angle before the breakout, before we got into health, because this is health. This is new healthy territory. We take the angle, whatever angle it is, and get close as we can. I'm going to try core. It's probably core. Actually, I'll be less conservative. Okay, I'm going to use the extreme angles. That's probably going to be right. And take that angle, and then I'm going to take the high. In this instance, it's this one right here. And then we're going to take the distance from here to here. Then what we're going to do, we're going to take that distance and duplicate that line. Actually, this is not a good place to draw the line. Okay, yep. If you guys can do this with pen and pencil, I give you kudos. What is kudos anyway? It sounds delicious. Somebody give me kudos, please. I would love to try some. Okay. Let's use a different color. Let's use that light blue color. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to take this line. You can hear my son in the background, guys. We're going to duplicate that line now on top of that blue line. Take the angle, that same angle that we draw, and now bring that angle to the top there. And now you have your angle. Yeah, see? So now we transform by taking the distance from that previous high. It's the same as doing a mid-phantom transformation. It's the exact same thing. And now we have another resistance that we can use in a short term. So on a 2-hour chart, I might be still bullish a little bit longer until we hit here, about right here. Okay, now they say that's not much money on the board. That's a very conservative target. The unconservative target, and I'll show you the unconservative target, is taking. Let me show you. Taking the cores here closer to the higher number, and that's going to be, if it's now 69,763, current price 68,968. So anyone who's micro trading this, you might see price hit this resistance quite nicely before coming down, and then another health would be a break above there. So I'm going to pay attention, or if I was, you can set alert on that number so you can watch it or along that angle, and then you know where the next health would be. So that's one way you can do it. That's conservative. The unconservative would be in that angle. Or I'm sorry, the conservative angle would be the sharper one down. The unconservative angle is going to be about right there. Okay, so that's one way you can do that. So don't expect you just to go up today right now because there's still a resistance. However, if we get that move above there, that can trigger your next health. So this is a little bit more advanced. I like when we have a really big support or a really big target, but I don't really have it at the moment. So we're probably going to see one move up over the next few hours today and then move down. But this is just a quick example on a 2-hour chart. I would be bullish still right now for another few hours. If price only did the same, we're going to see a change by, if price only did the same numbers and went sideways, we would see this play out by Sunday the 26th. Okay, Sunday the 26th. Any other questions regarding my take on Bitcoin on the larger time frames or the smaller time frames? That means I'm not expecting, because this resistance is here, I'm not expecting to move straight up in the air right now to 80,000 right now. We're probably going to come down, and therefore if the resistance is here, we'll probably draw a new watch line from here to here, and we'll be looking for another health somewhere above here in this area where I'm circling at. Okay, we'll be on. For some people, it says that's a lot. That's a lot to watch for. I'm here on Monday. I'm here on Wednesday. We can look at Bitcoin again, and we'll watch it. Okay. Ooh, this looks good. Look at this. Oh, Melody made a smoothie, a mystery smoothie. I don't know what's in it. I'm scared. She's got that. She's got that cynical look in her face, where her eyes start going. Eat this. Like, here, take one bite of this delicious apple. How do you open it? It's like a present. What do you do? Is your blender? But oh, it's mechanical. Look at that. Why do I always got to be the guinea pig?
You asked for it.
That's really good. What is this? Is this cherries? Ooh, it's cherries. Oh, that's really good. That's way better than coffee. Yummy. Juice Minute's been replaced by Smoothie Hour.
Real fruit.
By real fruit. Okay. All right. USDT.D and Brett. There will be no dive on next Monday. Not this coming Monday, in 2 more days, but the following week. I will be traveling for a graduation.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. And then there's also going to be no dive the week of the conference. We'll be out of state. I'll be in a state of confusion. That's what I'll be in. USDT.D. Here we go. The one you guys all been waiting for. Have you guys seen the movie? The movie, what's it called? You know that movie I'm talking about. You guys know. What? No. The Emperor's New Groove. Emperor's New Groove. Who's seen that movie? Emperor's New Groove. Put it in the chat if you saw it.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Yeah. Kronk. Wrong lever! Why do we even have that lever? I love that movie. I really like that movie. Anyway, you know that part where it says, Kronk, the Emperor needs his drink. She's trying to poison him. She invites him to dinner, and she has her assistant Kronk give him the drink with the poison in it. And she says, but I love how she says it. She's like, Kronk, the Emperor needs his drink. And her voice goes really high. It's all nervousy. But I would think that if you find somebody that's crazy, a coded language, always, you can speak in a coded language. And there's some people that probably think this about me. That as I'm talking, I'm sure you guys think, Kronk, the Emperor needs his shrink. Alright. Enough messing around. Time to get serious. We talked about this being a possible price flow because of this way back when. You guys saw me way back when. And I said this is probably going to be the possible price flow. It's the flat price flow. Because price down, we now know that price is parabolic. So because of this parabolic, the next health appears here. Okay, this health would be bad for crypto. As it is, when this chart goes down, Bitcoin goes up. Or the markets in general go up because of Bitcoin. But primarily, we use this chart to tell us what's really big for Bitcoin next. Now, We already measured a few areas, such as the key angle, wick, that turned out to be support, right? We know this in advance. You guys all know this because you're here. This area, 4.44 area, is where the support was, and that's where the support is. We also could take a look and see where that top is by taking the key angle, duplicating at the top here, and in this case it's at wick, core, and we see core, approximately. And this is the daily chart. We also had a price flow here based on this parabolic move on the smaller time frames. I believe that was on, what, 12 hour, I think it was, we identified it on. Yeah. And so we saw when we had the structure that was underneath these areas. I drew it for you guys. Once we have that round structure underneath there, we're looking to go down. So aren't you guys glad you're here? You can see all these things in advance. You'll learn how to read these things. You guys are learning how to read them. Some of you guys are already pretty good at it. I'm really grateful. So the next thing that's happening is basically a bounce here, which was a little negative for a Bitcoin. But as it is, we're looking for the next big behavior. The next big behavior is if we get a move underneath here, that is a sign of weakness. Okay, that's a sign that we're going down to these areas here. Okay, if we can get structure underneath here. Now, let's pull up our Echo forecast. Look off our show area. Echo forecast saying, hey, we're going to still play in this area. That's on the 12 hour. Look at the daily chart. Okay, saying, hey, we're going to phase into weakness. Get stuck about along here. Isn't that very interesting? And then eventually weakness. So it's telling us the same story. Moves past this area into weakness. Is that pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. On the larger term, it's also telling us, hey, weakness to the low side. But weakness to the low side here means what? It means health for Bitcoin, right? Health for Bitcoin. Health all around for Bitcoin. Yum, yum. Let's do something now. I want to look at the energy of this up move in relationship to here on our indicator called the RSI. We use a quantum RSI called this one here. And I measured the price flow of here, seeing when you can see some more shorter term weaknesses on the RSI. In addition to that, I don't know if we did this analysis. We probably did it already. If you simply look at the relationship between these areas of RSI, the move down on price for this pullback is only about maybe 60%. So if this is a move 100% from 0 to 100, a move back up is only about a dip into about 60% of the way up. However, the RSI has a pullback that's over 100%. So we have something called band pullback, or what I call band energy. This is how I read RSI. I don't read it like everybody else. Now, all I have to do now is put some text on here, show you what I mean. Band pullback is present on the daily chart. This is a big deal, by the way. Yeah. Band pullback is present on the daily chart. This is bullish for Bitcoin. Okay. This means that when we have a down move, we should see a larger move at play because of this. So that's what we should be expecting at this previous high, and it was a high. Okay, so what we're looking at is when the up move is done or the watch line is broken, we should see a large move down, which is going to be great for Bitcoin, right? New higher prices. What do we see in the data on Bitcoin? Bitcoin possibly hitting $80,021 area. Okay. What do I see on USDT.D? Similar move. Similar thing. Okay? Similar thing. Alrighty. Let's go a little bit further. If we don't get a big bounce here, that generally means we're going to phase through here, by the way. At the moment, it's not looking so good. One moment. Ah, there it is. Okay, indicators, titles. All right, if you ever want to just hide your indicators, you can just go to your corner here. It wasn't showing on mine, so I had to turn it on in the settings. Click on that, and then it's going to show your indicators. I have 2 instances of Lux Algo, so I can delete them. Only need 1. Here's another one. 3 instances, actually. And if I want to show it quickly, I can just click on that and turn it on and turn it off. So now I have the ability to turn it on and turn it off. I don't want to leave it on all the time. It will bias my opinion. I like doing my homework first and seeing if the indicator is confirming what I said. And almost always it does, which is fantastic for me, right? It's fantastic. It means we're on the right track, right? Okay, so I'll hide that indicator. Now, because we already getting a very weak bounce, it's very possible we're just going to phase through. So at the moment, I'm going to be bearish on this crypto. We already hit the target for support. Oops, sorry, there's one larger target that might be here. Otherwise, we've already hit that one. Yeah, that was the more accurate one. Yeah, we already hit our support where it's supposed to be. I'm going to be bearish. Any questions regarding USDT.D before I move on? I'm still going to 3.44. It's where I'm still at. Still around 3.44. I've been calling it for a lot of months now. Many months now I've been calling 3.44. I'm still 3.44. Last chance for going USDT.D. Going once. Going twice. You can unmute if you want to, guys. Okay, sold to the highest bidder. You guys all have a good idea of what's really happening with the market now? All right. Final crypto. Brett. I like Brett. I've been bullish Brett. Ooh, had a good move. Where's my... And I have new charts for Brett. 6.5. Yeah. Brett's been bullish. I've been bullish Brett. If you guys seen our previous reports for Brett, we've been very bullish Brett. Okay. The watch line is real easy to draw for this one. That was the health. And we're definitely in a strong position on the healthy weekly chart. Easy watch line. Easy peasy, right? Wayne's World. Are you there, my friend?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Wayne's World, while I'm building this chart in the background, would you like to share your report on some of the highlights that maybe have stuck out to you this week in as far as the accumulation of prophetic intel?
Yeah, if you want to. You want me to do it now?
Yeah.
It seems Prophet Robin has been pretty busy on flash crashes and flash spikes. We talked about last week the Ethereum flash crash. Just to highlight that, he thought he'd seen 60 cents of an Ethereum flash crash. He said, I don't know if that's the flash or that's really what I saw, but don't take it as thus says the Lord. And he said within minutes he saw a V come straight down and then V'd right back up within minutes. And then remember he had the term, you always heard the term pennies on the dollar?
Mm-hmm.
He said dollars on the pennies, both plural, dollars on the pennies. And then he also mentions about the global gold standard coming and there'll be no Federal Reserve. Yay!
Yes.
And the Ethereum flash crash he was talking about, it seemed like it was on the bigger platforms. That's summation. And then we also talked, just for memory lane purposes, Sister Sharon had Tupac and In a Dream, and Pastor Keith was in it, and so on. And then she and Pastor Keith had done a live together. This is over a year ago. And then Pastor Keith did his own video about a year ago in April, and then tied Ethereum to Tupac and the song's name. They kept going back and forth, and it was just amazing how it tied together. But the month of June was just, I've heard it like 8 times from Pastor Keith. It's like, I knew I'd heard that June again. That's what I thought, because I watched the video again, and there was a kind of a flash crash in 2016, Ethereum. And then in 2017, there's another crash. And so he said, in summary, he said, this is not thus says the Lord, but he said, would it surprise me if we have a flash crash in June? It wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, that was last April, a year ago. So nothing happened that June, a year ago. But things are changing now. You're starting to see Robin talk about flash crashes, Ethereum. So it wouldn't surprise me either if that happened in June. There's too many things tied to June that he had done that whiteboard with Ethereum over here and Tupac and his entourage over here. That's just a kind of a refresh. Then Robin did the next video, and the title of that was XRP flash spike up to $800. And he said it looked like it was a glitch, but it was manufactured to cripple XRP, but maybe it reversed on them. And he said people became very rich. And he said it was just up and back down like a V, just like the Ethereum flash crash went down and V'd right back up.
That means people will be able to take advantage of it then.
So I wouldn't wait too long. I would get my stuff in now and get some XRP sprinkled all over all your exchanges. Maybe put in 600, 625, 650, 700, 720, maybe go up to 775. And if you're high sell orders, just get it on a bunch of exchanges and then set them in there and leave it alone.
Did he have an inclination or sense of approximately timing of when that might happen?
Didn't seem very far away. And he said he was very clear. I saw the $800. When he saw it, XRP flash spike up.
Wow.
He said it was very clear to me, $800.
And if it's a flash spike like that, it probably wouldn't show up in the data because it's unexpected.
Then he made the comment, people will become very rich from it.
Wow.
Yeah. And then in that video, it continued on. He saw Shiba at 0.003. So that's 2 zeros and a 3. He said very soon. He saw people cursing it. That was obviously the enemy. And he said, the Lord said, it won't die. He's going to use it to bless many.
Yep.
And he said, this will be the setup for the wealth transfer. And then he said, and then months after that, and then he corrected himself. He said, not really months, but maybe a month or two. He said, I saw it go to a penny. So it looks like 2 zeros and a 3, and then very quickly, maybe a month or two, to a penny. And then he talked about a series of flash crashes coming on many platforms, exchanges. And he said 2 of them he named. He named Coinbase and Kraken out of many. And he saw a series of flash crashes, especially Coinbase and Kraken. But he said many, but he was highlighted with Coinbase and Kraken. So I guess the theme is things are coming. And the financial system's in trouble anyway. We know the banking system is really in trouble.
Yep.
And so on. And June just seems like a month that could be a month for things to fall, because June is Pride Month. And you know what happens with Pride? It falls.
Comes before a fall.
Yep. Okay.
And the dream I had about it happening on June, I believe it was 27th, a few years ago, I had a dream. And then somebody said, hey, it could be for a year to come. And I said, yeah, you're right. And I've been looking every June since. I've been watching.
And especially when Pastor Keith did that back in April, a year ago in April. I'm watching that last year thinking, oh, is it going to happen this June? It didn't. But we're in some crazy times. I just keep seeing flash crash. I keep hearing it now. So it sounds like it's building up. Right. And then.
And if you combine that with the idea that before it crashes, it's supposed to, people have had dreams that there's a large god, they call it a god candle on Bitcoin, large move up first. We've been waiting for that timeline. By and far, we haven't been in a position to do so in years past. We've been too young, or price was too low. Now, with health appearing in Bitcoin on the weekly, on the monthly, on the daily, if it was going to happen, it's possible it's going to happen soon. Now, I only see 80,000 in the data, but if you combine anything else, if there was a stock market crash, people flood, that could cause a buying frenzy to accelerate that, and eventually you're going to see a large up move, and then that could trigger those events, and then we could see those. But we're not so far away from these things being close. Tell us what else have you...
Yeah, and speaking of that so-called God candle, remember Love is God, he saw it straight up, and he called it a manufactured spike. He saw 120,000. So that was like a number that he had. Okay. And then if you want to continue on with the financial crashes and stuff, Sister Sharon had one out of the UK. And her headline on her channel on that video was, "Be ready at the weekend."
Be ready at the weekend, huh?
Yes, be ready at the weekend. So it's what I was gleaning out of it is there's going to come a weekend. The way she understands it is an event over a weekend. Now, she had it a couple weeks ago. So there's been a couple weekends already that nothing had happened. She said, "Is it this coming weekend?" She said, I don't know. But her understanding would be maybe over a weekend. Okay? And then the theme of it was get your very high sell limit orders, get them in. And get your very low buy orders, get them in. Because it sounds like when turbulence comes in the financial system, that may be the time the guy goes in there when there's chaos everywhere. He might move his little finger in there, or big finger in there, and start moving stuff around. And then she mentioned Shiba, and then she was saying she didn't know if that Shiba was going to go way down and hit those low buy orders first, and then come up and hit the high ones and sell, or vice versa. She doesn't know, and she was asking people in the chat, "Hey, what do you think?" Whatever. But at the very beginning of her video, she had mentioned BNB Tiger. She said WikiCat and Shiba. Those are the three coins she mentioned as she came into the video. And she said, this is like the third time I've heard that. So in her mind, it's like we're getting closer to something. And then she heard Mayday. Now remember Sister Kim out of the UK, My King Yeshua, she's done a couple videos with the Mayday. And then Sister Sharon said Mayday.
But we're still in May.
I'm just saying, does that mean it's in May and having Mayday, or is it just a warning that something's coming?
And this is our final week, if May, right? Is it? We still have a few days left, right? 31st is on Monday, so we have 2 more weekends, right? We have this weekend and next weekend.
And another brother, and thank you, Brother Greg, Prophetic Insight. He gets a lot of prophetic stuff too. He's the real deal also. And for some reason, he was talking to, they were talking about prophetic coins, and his wife, I think, had a vision or something, and she saw a boxing match with somebody and Floyd Mayweather. Now, he didn't catch that. His wife said, and then his wife later on said, Mayweather, May, the month of May, maybe? Mayweather, something like that. I probably butchered it, but she said, "Did you not hear the word May in Floyd Mayweather?" He goes, "No, I didn't, but I'm glad you said something." So I'm just throwing things out there. Wow. And then Sister Sharon said, "But here's the thing. As Jason would preach and preach."
She said my name?
Your idol. No,
oh.
I'm saying,
okay.
This is Wayne's World saying.
Okay.
As Jason would say, that's me saying, that get rid of your idols. You got to get rid of them. And you want to be, when the angels come and drop these bags off, you want to be in the heavenly realm, so to speak, not in the flesh. So get rid of those idols. She probably preached a sermon, maybe half the video on that kind of stuff. So, because she brings it both in, because the Lord tells her that, hey, you got to hear the word of God too, not just, crypto and stuff like that. So again, be ready at the weekend. That's, what can I say? Sounds like a weekend at some point. So
I think it would be a wise move to move some of our cash positions to our exchanges in anticipation of some of these moves, ready to have our orders ready for shorting. One of the big ones I'm really interested in shorting when it's time is Ethereum. I can see that I was still expecting higher prices, and after those higher prices are hit, I can see that it'd be very easy for price to face it as a long, straight up parabolic. It's almost straight up. And once price enters the weakness side, because the larger story of no demand and past history of weakness and distribution and hitting that area, I'm looking for Ethereum to have a large drop. If it drops during flash crashes, we could see even a higher drop to some very low prices. Like we heard prophetically $800 for some of those numbers. And some people saw pennies for Ethereum. So it's very possible we can see prophetic numbers hit where if you have a short position, you'll actually do very well. in there, and it's very possible that's going to be part of the wealth transfer if you have a large down move. So one I'm expecting. There's also cryptos that'll probably be that are already weak. Those are the ones on top of my board. XDC, it's been weakness. We've been right about it for so long. So much weakness in XDC. It might be one that you'll see hit a very low price during the flash crash spike, and then one you want to gobble up at low prices. Gobble up almost anything at low prices. House had a dream in our community that when he was he saw the flood, which I believe is a financial event. He saw the flood. Everyone was struggling to swim, and he has a sword in his hand, and he's chopping the fish in half. Everybody's trying to concern about swimming. He said, "Stop worrying about swimming. Just cut these fish in half." And as he's swimming, he didn't worry about the water. He could breathe underwater just fine. He's chopping the fish in half, and then he hears a prophetic voice from somebody that had a prophetic gift in our community, and the voice said to him, "Just get any fish. It doesn't even matter." So he was really, if there's a flash crash and it's manufactured spike and you're able to take advantage of it, prices like at zero numbers or really low numbers, buy anything, because when it recovers, then you're going to see that you've been able to take advantage of that well. But make sure you take some profit, even if you have to move on those exchanges, because these exchanges can get a little bit funny. So I recommend this. If price changes and recovers back to a position, change it into 2 or 3 cryptos. Change it into XDC, change it to USDT, change it into XRP, and then, or do what you got to do, move it around a bit, and then move it off your exchanges. You're creating different blockchain nodes. Very hard for people who are trying to take advantage of these exchanges that are trying to say, you weren't supposed to have that money, and they'll do a glitch. But they're the ones that doing those same glitches behind the scenes. They're the ones that have these algorithms. God prophesied a few years ago through a few different people that these algorithms would fail. There's a lot of Intel community that suggests there's going to be one of these crashes. I've had dreams. A lot of people had dreams that there's this crash, but somehow we're supposed to take advantage of it. So when that crash happens, take advantage of it. And if you can see it happening before it happens, take advantage of it on the way down. Just be careful not to be over leveraged in anything, but just understand that there's a very strong possibility God's going to position you to take advantage of some of those things. Wayne's World, thank you so much for your investigation into all these matters. Thanks for staying on top of it. As a creator myself, I can't watch all these videos. I can't always watch everything. People in the community who are keeping an eye on some of these things, sharing these emails with me, the text messages, or the Telegram, posting it on the VIP, posting it on Crypto in Christ. You guys are fantastic.
I would say that it's getting urgent because you keep seeing crash. You keep seeing it's getting more. Prophetic voices are speaking more and more, like it's getting faster and faster. So I would get going on, if you haven't done it. It's crazy if you haven't, but I would get in there because, like I said, Pastor Keith really feels strong about June, and that was a year ago. It didn't happen in June, but he just, he's got a good sense from the Lord that he said, I'll say it again, he said, this is not thus says the Lord, but would it surprise me if Ethereum crashed in the month of June? Absolutely not. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. You know what I mean? So we're there. And then I think Pat had a couple comments there in the chat.
Pat O says, she feels it could be this weekend. It's a 3-day weekend in the USA and the UK. Is it for this thing? Is it 3-day weekend?
It's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. Wow. May want to take
anything's possible.
Yeah, you guys may want to make sure you have some orders ready to go on some of the exchanges. She said Monday. Also, Sister Sharon feels a crash first before the rise. So Sister Sharon feels a crash first before the rise. Is that Sharon now, Dave Bread, or our Sharon?
UK Sharon.
UK Sharon. Okay.
And I think she was talking about Sheba then, that the Lord might. She was saying that the Lord might go down and scoop up. For the people that don't have a lot of money, go down and hit those low buy orders first, and then go up and hit the high sell. But she said, I don't know, but she just said that they could very possibly come down first and then go up to help the people that don't have a lot of money, to help get the low buy orders in. Now they have, and then go up and sell or whatever.
Yep. Pat O says this will allow many children to be able to afford to buy before the rise. Yes, I believe before we hit many prophetic numbers, we're going to hit low numbers first. That's what I think. Now, I believe that there's going to be higher numbers that to be hit for seed money. And with that seed money, you need to buy your seed. And by seed, I mean obtaining cryptos that are prophetic, things that can have large potential, and you're going to see that. Now, in my dream, that I had when I saw the crash happen on June 27th. I saw that number highlighted. I passed by like A-frame. I believe it was like an A-frame, and on the A-frame there was a calendar, and on the calendar that number was circled 27. I believe it was June, possibly it was July, but I always felt like that was a strong piece that it's June. I didn't really focus on the month. I just knew it started with a J, and I really felt like it was June. And it was on the 27th, and it was circled. And I posted the dream on YouTube years ago. When it crashed, I called up a friend. The whole world was like this. I called up a friend, and I said, now's the time to buy. And I just knew there was a window of 3 days. It was only a very short time. It was like the window of 3 days where she had time to buy. The fact that I told her to buy tells me we were able to take advantage of the situation. While everyone's panicking, stop panicking. Just buy. And if you don't have any seed money to buy at the time, you need to probably do something where you can make seed money do it. So it's very possible we're going to have a window of time. I don't know. I can't say it's going to be 3 days. That's just a dream. But it could be 3 days, literal 3 J's. So do that. Pat O says, but Sister Sharon did say to place both buy and sell orders. I can't guarantee we're going to have a chance to just buy at that time. But some of you guys want to already have low limit orders and sell orders placed in advance. If you cannot place a limit order on your exchange, you need to place what is called a trigger order, which means you tell the computer to make an order when price hits a certain number. So if I say, hey, if price comes down to $100, then place an order to be fulfilled at such and such dollars, $1, $90, whatever dollars you want to. And that's where you place that order. So if price hits those, then you place a limit order to buy. So those are going to be things. But all of these, if price is hitting like $100 and it's due to a flash crash or glitch or something, what we know as glitches, then it's probably going to allow for even lower prices. And there's going to be a wealth transfer. The Bible says that the Egyptians were completely plundered in this way. He first struck Egyptian, ruined their financial system first. And after he ruined the financial system, then he said, now go get the gold. Gold was worthless to the Egyptians at a time when you cannot eat, because you can't eat gold. The price of gold was worthless for them because the crops, the frogs, the water, everything was down. Darkness, the death all around. There's not thriving, bustling markets. The economy is ruined, Egyptian. And then God says, now get the gold. Don't be surprised if our economic system gets ruined in parts for you to get the gold first. The first, and we even know that on a macro scale when it comes to the revaluation of currencies. I guess even Prophet Robin spoke about it. We've been speaking about it for years. Gold standard coming back. Is it any surprise Prophet Robin's prophesying about gold standard coming back? No, because it's going to happen. We can see it in the data. We can see it in the intel. We can see it coming in the future. The way of things, the first system has to collapse. You can call it quantum financial system, call it whatever you want. Gold standard is coming back. When it comes back, it's going to start a new system. XRP is going to be at the heart of that system. You're going to see XRP hit astronomical numbers during those days. You'll see it before just knowing certain things, but during those days, it's going to go and it's never going to come back. You want to make sure you're ready with certain things beforehand. If there's a glitch on XRP and it's really soon, be careful selling your XRP. I see weakness in XRP, heavy weakness. I believe you're going to be able to get some lower prices, but that's not for everybody to take advantage of. Some of you guys just need to get your money and never sell it. Some people are going to be riding some of these waves and then they're going to accumulate. However you need to do it, pray first. Everybody should be really convinced in their own mind about what God's plan for them, for their life is to do. All right. When we come back... Oh, go ahead.
And one more little quick one if you want it. All
Sure.
right, a channel, his channel's called Holy Spirit Fire. Look, you think he's like Middle Eastern, I think. I can't remember his name. He's talking about the coin BONK, B-O-N-K. And he was talking about on May 19th, he had a vision or a dream, and he looked at his phone, and on that day, which was a few days ago, the price was 4027 on BONK. And then next thing you know, he said it ran up like 9 to 1 or something like that, which if that were the case, it would go 3 zeros like 249. 4027 approximately, and then 30249. Now on his video, he had 5027, but that wouldn't have been correct because that would have been like a 90 to 1 But on May 19th, the bonk was 4 zeros, 27. And then he saw a 9-to-1 ratio, which would be 3 zeros, like 249. There you go.
So, do you mean 9-to-1 ratio? Do you mean like a 9x coin?
Yeah, 9x coin. Correct.
Oh.
So basically, it's probably 4 zeros, maybe 3-3, 3-4 right now. So it's a little above the 4 zeros, 2-7 anyway right now. But it's not like way up or something like that. But he was like, looked at his phone again. He said, "Oh my!" Was in a dream or vision, whatever it was that he saw. Wow, 9-to-1 or something like that. So that's the last little gem I have.
Good. Thank you very much. All right. With this, we're going to finish up showing our last chart. Here's some images that I've taken of a crypto called... Oops, I closed out my whole chart. Brett. What happened to my image? Oh, there we go. Okay. As we look at Brett, I can see a few things. One of them, we can see that foundational watch line, or the foundational key angle. Lisa says, Armin, was the prophetic word about Bunk or Brett? Oh, says, both Sister Sharon did say to place both buyers and sellers. Also, UK government is publicly calling people to prepare an emergency pack and for an emergency. That's a few governments already talking about emergency, right? All right, and our next crypto, we have a foundational watch line here that's approximately about right there. It's super easy to draw. When we duplicate it and we place it here at core, or here at core, we can see that the price is respecting this angle. What we can do with that is take the distance from here to here and duplicate it out, and this is called the mid-phantom transformation, where we turn that line into a mid-phantom, and then we basically now have equal distances on the bottom side and the top side. It tells us there should be resistance here, and therefore what we see on this large down move is a large amount of buying, because now we're in health. So as we come into this new area on the daily chart, there was a big health, and therefore it can supply. The buying that happens on the down bar needs to be read in context. I don't just read it without a map. We have a map, and it helps us read our indicators, helps us read VSA, which is volume, helps us read everything better. If you guys are not drawing maps, you're missing out on reading some really important stuff. So we can see that this large volume down bar on this area would actually be buying, because it's buying after the health came in. Okay, so that we're in healthy territory. Another way we can look at this is if we take a look at this angle from here to here. From here to here, we take that angle and bring it up to our height. And this is our high core here. We can see that we may have a resistance close to 15 cents. Current price is being 0.06 cents. But we may have a resistance closer to 16 cents if we look at this as a key angle. That's one of the things we can do is if we're using this as a key and we're bringing it to our heights and taking that distance using the DP projection technique. So this is something we may be looking at. If I'm being really conservative, I want to raise it up to that core here. If I'm being really aggressive, I want to bring it up to that wick, not just the core, the wick. And that number would be a little bit higher to maybe 16 cents. So this is our longer term projection. Now, at the moment, only taking that key angle at the bottom and bringing it to the top could give us some resistance here. So I don't want to be just chasing after Brett right now all the way up to there. Brett may need to come back down to cool off, because this could be the top, closer to 0.668. Okay. So we got to be a little bit careful. Now, one of the things we can also see is that if we take that smaller DP projection, again the same angle, duplicating it here at the core in this instance, it should give us a resistance about right here. We're taking the distance from here to here, duplicating it out. It should give us a resistance. So now we see why prices would get stuck in this area a little bit. There's a resistance, but there's also a health. So the buying happens here on that bar, but also has a hard time going up. And that's why we get some stops, 1, 2 at that area, as well as the core in that area. So this makes a little bit more sense. That should have been a resistance, but then again, everything's broken. So if it's broken, and this is a big push, we may need a rest. So we may see support closer to 0.5 cents if we do see it just move back down, and that could still be a little bit healthy. Either way, the next big health for me is probably going to be above that 6 cents. See how I drew that circle above this line? I don't really want to buy Brett again until we're above this number, okay? Above this 0.6 1.68. I would like to see another move up maybe tomorrow and then a move back down. Otherwise, we may not get it. It could be dangerous to buy Brett right now. We're just chasing it. The first time to buy Brett was once we broke into our first health. Okay, that would have been a health. See a big push in volume, but the resistance based on the key angle. It's basically the same thing that just happened right here. That was the same exact move. Almost identical, right? So what we're looking for is not to chase these candles. I would love to hunt a down move, but we don't have one right now. This just is the larger story. I want to be careful about just chasing this candle because I'm so far away from the entry. You could be asking for a world of hurt if you do get some major pullbacks. We don't like to buy at tops. We're not candle chasers. Another thing we can see as we zoom in down to a 12-hour chart, and this is going to be important. Look at the parabolic. Okay, there's a bode. If you connect these energy, you can see a larger parabolic forming, and that would mean that if we get below that parabolic, we can see some down moves. Otherwise, we can use that parabolic as our resting point. So if we come down, we may want to be paying attention to this parabolic. At the moment, for the next 12 hours, that lower number is 0.0537. However, that number is going to rise up just a little bit higher and higher every time. Okay, so we're going to raise up each week. Now, again, that major health area is still above that area, above the blue line. Okay, that's what I really want to buy. The other thing about this parabolic I really want you to pay attention to, and if you only drew one line, draw this parabolic. Because if you see that this parabolic, this is a 2-hour chart. Okay, 2 hours, see? 2H. And on this parabolic, I said this parabolic angle is being respected even down to a 2-hour chart. This is a strong verification of this angle for both health and weakness. When I see a monthly chart being respected by a weekly and a daily chart, that angle is really important. If usually what happens if you draw a chart on a monthly chart or a weekly chart, but then the daily chart just flirting within it, then that chart will be respected over time, but not more immediate. If you see both the weekly and the daily chart and a 12-hour and a 6-hour all respecting the line, really pay attention to that line. This is no exception. Look at this. Look at the 2-hour chart. It's very accurately responding to this parabolic. So we may want to put a lot of emphasis on this parabolic, which means if price comes down, we could look for it as support. If price phases through there, that's your time to get out and get a better price at a later time. We would see prices coming underneath here and then looking to come down. Okay? So pay attention to that parabolic. All right. Father, we love you guys. We love you, Lord. From our community, we love you. Thank you, Lord, for your spirit, for your blessing. I pray that we don't have to boast, but if we do, let us do so with the power. The Bible says it's not a matter of talk. The kingdom of God is not a matter of talk, but a matter of power. May we use the power of the Holy Spirit to fill our lips, to fill our lives, to fill our hands. May we do the works of God, and may they be apparent. Jesus, you said in the Bible that these signs I give you are for them, that they may believe. Some people will only believe if they see a sign or a wonder or some kind of physical thing. Not that you have to do those physical things, but sometimes the world out there, they only listen or they only believe if they see. For Thomas, he had to put his hands inside your side. He had to put his fingers in the holes. He wouldn't believe otherwise. It's great. You said, if that's what it takes. But you also said, blessed more are those who have not seen and yet believe. I pray, Lord, that we would be a type of people that would believe, and that we wouldn't have to resort to such immature things. I pray that we would be a people who are mature, that take the faith and bring it to the gospel. If we do boast, let it never be based on the competition, but rather for the edification of others. If after the wealth transfer we lead with money, let us move away from that attitude. Let us repent of those attitudes. Let us lead rather with our character of our spirit, of the Holy Spirit. If we are leading with just these frivolous things, I pray that you would show us a better way so that we wouldn't be in competition with one another. And I also pray for the hearts of those people who have had this attitude. I pray that we would repent of this attitude. Not that it's a sin that leads unto death, but it could be a very, very strong precursor to pride, to false humility, to a perverted view of the gospel. I pray that we would support one another, build one another up higher than ourselves. Let us always think higher of others than we do of ourselves. And if we're on the opposite side of that spectrum, we're really far into that. I pray that we would be able to get down from our high horse and help other people on their horse, that we would humble ourselves. For Moses, the Bible says, was the most humble man who ever walked the face of this earth. I pray that we would be more humble every day, because you oppose the proud, but give grace to the humble. I pray that you would remind us at time when we need to show off our feathers and wings. We'll show them at those times. But if it's not time, let us not. Let us show the kingdom of God with the power of the Holy Spirit. Let you go forth and do the talking. They often accused Moses of many things, and they often were pointing the fingers at him and complaining, but you defended him. You yourself defended him. So, Lord, I pray that for those who take the humble path, may you defend them, and defend them often when they need to be defended. You guard them from the mouths of the evil ones, of people who are trying to slander, those friends who are your friends, those people who are your children. May you guard them and hold them in all righteousness, and keep us humble. Thank you, Lord. Show us a better way always. We love you. We thank you. In Jesus' name.